freaking battery tender.
All right, we are live this Tuesday night here at Fish North Georgia. Welcome to the live well, everyone. Got a great episode in store for you guys tonight. We got the most interesting hair I think we've ever had on the show. Go ahead and pop it on this thing. Look at that. Give it a little sideways. We got the Mullet Angler himself, Daniel Hamilton, on with us tonight. So we're going to have a little bit of fun. And hell, I guess I need to take my pins out of my hat and everything. So anyway, appreciate you guys joining us. Hey, listen, if you're one of a lot of people that watch us, but you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up and everything. We're going to take care of business, and then we're going to talk bass fishing for a couple hours. Ought to be a good, entertaining show. So let's go ahead and start off with our buddies, Trent Palmer and the guys over at Sonar Pros, 770-530-4505, the official sonar installer of the live well. Guys, take your boat. Get it done right the first time. Take it where the pros take theirs. And that's Sonar Pros off Highway 369. And then if you're on Lake Lanier, hey, and you want to catch some megalodons, Kevin Underwood with Lipsticker Fishing. 678-459-8419. Kevin at lipstickerfishing.com. And check out his Patreon. Just make some noise, Clint. Throwing some stuff around here.
I'm making some noise.
Making some noise. Check out his Patreon. You still on that thing?
Yes, sir.
You love it?
Yeah, I love it.
Live fishing.
He
Can't
even
hide
dropped some Oconee juice.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
All right, get some Oconee juice. So that's a monthly thing you can do with him. So we love Kevin Underwood here right there. And again, the best rod sleeve on the market, that's Evolve Fishing. If you ain't got it, you are behind. You can buy cheaper ones. You can get them Chinese finger traps or whatever they're called, them regular old school rod covers. Listen, you might as well go ahead, put the money down on Evolve Fishing. They float. They got all the protection on that. And the best of all, you can chunk them in your rod locker and the hooks will not get hung in them. So we got them here at Fish North Georgia. Go to evolvefishing.com. Now, all the money we spend on these expensive lures, you need a good plug knocker, the best on the market, the Money Saver Lure Retriever. Just got a brand new shipment here at Fish North Georgia. So we got all the colors for those of you guys that color is important. And the way guys talk about worms here, you guys are really hooked on your colors. So whether pink, orange, blue, red, yellow, you name it. Are you yawning in there?
No, I'm burping.
You're burping?
Yeah.
I thought you were yawning. I'm going to say, am I boring already?
No, I ate a big old ribeye for dinner.
Get you one of these Money Savers and get your lure back today. I just had to rag at you there. And then we got Allatoona, Mr. Allatoona, our buddy Bill Payne. Bill Payne's Guide Service, 706-280-2305. Guy's a legend. If you want to go book a trip on Lake Allatoona, he's the one you want to go with. He does sonar trips and he does seasonal smallmouth bass trips. So I think that would be a really fun one to go on, don't you?
Yes.
Bill Payne, smallmouth?
Yes.
I don't know if it could get any better than that. So
I just want to go fishing with Bill Payne.
Bill Payne?
Yeah.
He's the sweetest human being on out there.
Mm-hmm.
I love Bill Payne. 706-280-2305. And then, of course, we've got the young gun right here, Brooks Anderson Fishing. Check his YouTube out, Brooks Anderson Fishing, or his website, brooksandersonfishing.com. Guys, if you want to know spotted bass on Lake Lanier, right there, Brooks Anderson Fishing. That's who you need to call. He'll tell you not only why they're there, what to catch them on, what you're doing, and he also sets up his business to really focus on younger anglers, so to help them get their start in the business and their careers. So check out Brooks. Does some good YouTube videos. by the way. So always like that. Got a gentleman sitting here behind me that fished with Brooks in high school right there. One Mason, what's your last name? Mason Venable right there in the audience. So, and again, yes,
I like the radio voice you just turned on there.
Mason Venable in the audience. And then our buddies, Fishers of Hope. Hey, listen, April 11th, Blairsville, Georgia. They're having a banquet, fundraising banquet. I'm going to go up there and speak a little bit. We'd love for all you guys, if you ain't got nothing going on April 11th, to come up there. They're going to have barbecue. I think they're doing drawings or what is it where you bid on stuff or
Raffles.
yeah, raffles. That right there.
Raffles,
something like that. I guess something like that. But guys, listen, Fishers of Hope, those tournaments to help people in need. And, you know, their mission's simple. Glorify God, be servants of his word, to bring those in need to peace and hope that only he can bring. Check them out on Facebook or give them an email shout, fishersofhopeministry@gmail.com. And then, of course, behind us, pop that thing wide. Turner Tire up here in Jasper, Georgia, 706-253-3339. Tires in alignment. It's a family-run business. Brock Turner and the crew up there are fantastic. It's where I get my tires. I highly recommend them, not just because they put a sign behind me, but it's actually, I hate getting tires. I really do hate getting tires and stuff like that. But it's actually,
Hey, if I give you a trailer tire tonight, can you take it to him?
I might can. We can see what we can do.
I've had it in the back of my
Why
truck.
did you flex your chest when you did that? Like you flexed your chest
I
when you were
did
talking
not
to me. Yeah, you
flex
did,
my
dude. It bounced.
Okay.
Like I totally lost track
It
of
was
what I
my
was
heart
saying.
beating just thinking about you being nice to me. Okay?
There you go. But I will. I'll see if you can do it.
I've had it in the back of my truck for a month and still haven't gotten it fixed. It's my spare tire for my boat.
Yeah, throw it to me. We'll do it. We'll
Okay.
take care of that. All right, guys. In the comment section, Charlie Adams, Nathan Owen, Silver Punk, who was first. Everybody has to make sure they're first right there. And Silver Punk, I think, won it tonight. Jonah Ferdesha. I see your nuts, Danny. Right here. Listen. The return of the nuts. All right. These are Steve Pinkston's nuts. Okay. If you've never had any of Steve's nuts, you need to get you some of Steve's nuts. Actually, it's Sugar Hill Bait Company. And he came up here and visited. These things are, I mean, what are they? Hell, I'm just eating them. Roasted pecans with cinnamon and stuff all over. It's a fat boy's dream right there. So, and I think he's got outside of Bass Pro Shops in Lawrenceville, I think he's got his nuts are there too. Is his nuts over at Cabela's?
I wouldn't doubt it. They probably are there.
Steve's nuts are everywhere.
They pair well with a Dr. Pepper.
They pair well with a Dr. Pepper
Yeah.
or whatever's in the white cup. You just don't know. So anyway, Daniel, now you're a big time star. So yeah, you're welcome.
Hey,
Like that.
good to be here, man.
I tell you what, now listen. So this cat's interesting. Now he's a kayaker, pretty much, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't hold that against him, but I do tell you this: he can put you on some fish, and he catches a lot of good fish. Catches these shoal bass that we only got here in Georgia, so that's still pretty cool. And we'll talk about that. You guys in the comment section, listen. If you got any questions or comments about what's going on local waters, feel free to ask that. We'll answer those things. But if you got any questions and comments for Rockstar right here, just let us know, and we'll make sure he answers them. So also too. He doesn't realize this. He don't know it yet, but we got a special treat for our question of the night that you're going to help us with.
Okay.
Okay, you're going to sing. You know that, right?
Oh, Lord, I was singing on the way here, but it wasn't good.
That's what I need. I don't need you to sing good. I need you to just sing right there. So anyway, what's up, guys? Let's get this started. So the Mullet Angler, all right, Lord knows we know why you got your name.
Oh, yeah.
So just I got to ask this first, get it out of the way. Out of curiosity, what in the hell possesses you to wear that mullet like that?
Hey, so it's all started with COVID. You know, out of COVID, I was just like, let me grow my hair out, see where it goes. You know, I might look like a shaggy dog, but at the same time, it might look good. So I went with it.
So you think it looks good?
I think so.
Hey, well, okay, so turn this way. So he's got, is that like a lightning bolt? Oh,
Hey,
that's
I'm Flash's cousin, if y'all didn't know.
Flash's cousin. Okay, listen.
He's quick on the hook set.
Quick on the hook set.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we're going to get that. So real quick for those that may want to follow you, and so I don't forget, because I might have a little too much in the white cup, where can people follow you on your socials? Let's get that out of the way, the important stuff first.
Follow me at Mullet Angler 087 on Instagram, Mullet Angler on YouTube, pretty much TikTok, Mullet Angler. Any of my platforms, just look Mullet Angler, you'll find me.
He got that old country twang. Mullet Angler.
I like it.
Mullet Angler. I like that. So, all right, anyway, tell us a little bit about how you got into fishing, Mr. Mullet Angler.
Yeah, it all started with my pawpaw. You know, we went to these little ponds and started fishing with my little cousins. And, I mean, I went down on the Flint, too, with Dad. During the summer, we always had a great time out there. But it all really started with pawpaw. So, pawpaw, he's not with me, but this one's for you if you're watching.
There you go. I love
He
that.
passed away about September, so a lot of things have happened since then. But he's the main reason I got into fishing.
That's good.
That's
And you know
awesome.
what? You got to consider yourself blessed because a lot of kids these days don't have a pawpaw or a dad or anything like that to take them fishing.
For sure.
And so, I know I hate it that you have a loss, but still consider yourself blessed that you got to do that. Because actually, my grandfather, and I didn't call him Pawpaw, I just called him Papa, but he would take us over at Johns Creek, and we'd actually go out to just the little creeks and catch the brim and all that. That's my first recollection of actually fishing.
Yeah.
We would catch little crawfish, and then he would break those little boogers open, and he'd take the meat out of the tail and put it on a hook, and we'd catch brim and stuff with him like that. In Johns Creek, which is probably surrounded by an apartment complex or something now. So you're talking 76, 77. So I am old. Like that. So, all right. So, but appreciate you, telling us that about your pawpaw. Now, I know you as a kayak angler. So what got you into kayaks as opposed to boats?
So I started in John boats, but I met my buddy Deshaun at Bass Pro. So he was in the service, and I got to see him when he came out. And he was like, "Man, you ever been in a kayak?" And I was like, "No." "You want to?" I was like, "No." He was like, "Come on, let's go fishing this evening. I'm gonna put you in one." I was like, "No, man. I'm gonna fall out and bust my tail." He's like, "You got to get in one and at least try it once."
Mm-hmm.
So I went fishing with him that evening. Got in his pond. I was throwing a little frog. I think I was throwing a wacky worm probably too.
Good for you.
But man, I broke one of my smash loose rods, and that was like the best feeling in the world. But I got drug around like crazy, man.
Yeah, just got hooked on it.
Yeah, hooked right off the spot. Hooked.
There you go.
I was like, "Can I borrow this like the next week?" He was like, "Let me think on that."
Yeah. So you're talking about Deshaun Johnson?
Yep.
He's
DJ.
been on the show right there. He's a good dude.
Oh yeah.
Got a better looking girlfriend than he deserves and all that, but he outpunted his coverage.
Oh,
But
yeah.
no, he's a good dude.
Oh yeah, he's a good dude.
Andy Anderson, glad to see Mason Venable in the audience. You can see him behind. Put the camera on Clint right there. Or maybe there you go. He's out there. He fished with Brooks Anderson in high school.
That's awesome.
And now listen, Andy, he was telling me some stories about Brooks that you and I might need to talk about off air a little bit. So just letting you know right there. Now he really did. And I'm just giving him a hard time, but it is pretty cool when you meet all these people that come in on the show or come in the store, and you find out you can start connecting dots. Like this guy knows this guy that knows this guy that knows this guy. And it always goes to show that really fishing here in Georgia, it's just a big old community. And so I got to meet Mason for the first time today. So that was pretty cool. And Austin Guthrie, what's up, Justin Spees? But Austin Guthrie, pull up that. Let's get you a question going on. Ask him who put him on that mag draft bite. Now,
Ooh.
let's go back a little bit. So
Okay.
apparently you like throwing the mag draft,
Oh,
big
yeah.
swim baits and stuff like that.
Mag draft is one of my all-time favorite things to throw on the flint. You
On
can't
the
beat it.
flint.
Yeah.
On the flint.
A little bit of juice coming out of the juice box.
All right, here we go.
A little bit.
Here we go. Go ahead.
The mag draft, you got to have it. You got to have it at least MB Gizzard. I'd shout out to Austin on that one because he put me on that color.
Say
That
that
is
color
money.
one more time.
MB Gizzard.
NB Gizzard.
MB Gizzard.
NB Gizzard. You know that color, Clint?
Mm-hmm.
You do? You
Got
throw
one
it?
tied on deck right now.
You got that color tied on deck.
Mm-hmm. That's a good color.
That's a good color.
Yeah.
All right, so what got you into throwing things like that? I guess Austin did right there.
Yeah, he was like, "You got one of those?" I was like, "I don't, man." He's like, "You need to get one. You got to go throw it. Get some big bass with it." I was like, "I don't know. It's big." He's like, "That's the thing. You got to throw it." So
Yeah.
I started chunking it. And like every time I'd go out the river, I'd chunk that bait. And I wouldn't get a bunch of fish, but when I did, it was on. It was like I was on them.
Yeah. I love this guy's accent, man.
That's awesome.
I love
I
it.
like
So
it.
let me ask you though, do you consider yourself let me rephrase that. When you're casting and fishing, would you rather throw big baits compared to smaller baits, finesse style baits?
Man, that ties in because I throw a lot of wacky worms, and that kind of falls in the category of finesse bait.
It
But
does.
don't get me wrong. I'll throw a mag draft too.
See, I like it. What do you throw? What do you like to throw top water there? David Weaver wants to know. And I skipped a few, and I'll go back. That caught my eye right there.
Top water, it's got to be either a sexy dog spook.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say a spook is pretty deadly, but the Chapo gets it done too.
Chapo.
Oh, you
come
just
on, man.
lost
Chapo's
No,
good.
no,
Chapo's good.
no. Seriously, you had me. Listen, you had me at Wacky
Yeah,
Worm,
that wacky worm.
and then you just lost me with Chapo. Now, you river and kayak guys are a little bit different. So I'm just going to let it slide right here. Okay. And let you go with the Chapo.
Okay.
All right. Just for now. Okay. So what color Chapo?
Bone white. Keep it simple.
Bone white? Bone white?
Bone white.
Is that a color? I thought it was
Prob-
bone and it
yeah.
was white.
Maybe it's just bone and
he throws
white.
bone white.
Yeah, it's bone white. I just call it bone white, but
Bone
Could
white.
be
Look at Danny's
white.
favorite bait. Look at that. Okay, let's start back up with buddy Christopher Henry right there. What's your kayak setup?
kayak setup is a crescent shoalie.
Yeah.
Yes,
I got
sir.
one.
Crescent
one.
shoalie. Man, that thing is awesome.
I ain't
I
been
have
in it
a little black box on it. Got an NK 180. I got a leak in it right now. Probably shouldn't have said that, but I do got a leak in it. I got it patched up with some JB weld and flex tape, but we're rolling. We're still on the water.
Still floating.
We got a black box.
What
It's
the hell's
pretty-
a black box?
It's just a big box that you put all your tackle in. I bring too much tackle normally.
Oh, like a yak attack box kind of thing? Okay.
Just a big old box.
All right.
Keep it simple. I have a fish finder too, but I don't even use it, and that's pretty bad.
Well, if you're catching fish and you don't need it, you don't need it.
Yeah.
So the guys down at Festive gave me last year, they gave me the Shoalie, and it's set here, but we actually took it out of the building. So it's one step closer to being in the water there, Alex. I'm going to be fishing at that thing probably in the next month.
Let's
and I'm
go.
going to video it. I'm going to get out on Latham, get in it,
Yeah.
get a little comfortable with it, and then we're going down the river.
Okay.
Are you going to go with me?
I'll go with you.
I need somebody who knows what the hell they're
We'll
doing
go
in
up to
Kirk.
Wildwood.
Huh?
We'll go up to Wildwood.
Where's that?
I don't know the town. I just know how to get there.
We're going to
I'll
Wildwood.
come film it. I'll
Fe-
fly,
Festive
I'll fly
owns
the
it.
drone.
They-
You'll
they
make
own-
sure you get the
They own a
kerf
stretch of the
lump.
Chattahoochee.
It's on the Chattahoochee?
Yeah.
Okay. I ain't going to drown, am I?
No, you be all right.
Okay, good. So, but seriously, they gave me one, and they gave me a Shoalie, and I'm like, I've been waiting to use it, but it's been too cold. I don't think you need to get out in a kayak first time ever, in kayak when it's really cold. I got to be experienced like you are.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I got out this year, and it was bone chilling cold. Me and one of my buddies, BJ, we got out there when it was like
Bone white cold.
it was
Bone white.
it was cold. I mean, I would say like in the 30s at least. You had to wear bibs and like not fall in, and if you did fall in, you were gonna turn into an ice cube. So it's pretty cold.
Hey, listen, I'm ready to do it. So David Weaver says, I love my Shoalie. It's awesome to fish out of if you like to paddle. Hey, listen, yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. And then Justice P says, yeah, send Danny down the hooch up there. He'll never go again. Yeah, I will. Listen, I'm much more adventurous than you think I am. I try to play cautious here. I'm thinking I'll do anything once right there. So, well, not anything. Most
Yeah.
things. I got
Almost anything.
almost. Let me verify that. Almost everything. All right. So, with your mag draft, I got to ask the question: what's your rod and reel setup for that joker?
So rod and reel setup is a medium heavy, believe it or not, like a mock pro. It's a yellow rod. It's weird. I know it looks like a salamander, but literally it goes up
It looks like a what?
a salamander.
Okay.
It's got like a weird pattern on it. I don't know, but it works. It's a medium heavy, goes up to a 1 ounce, and I can literally take that mag draft and skip it underneath the dock, or I can skip it underneath like a tree. So it works great for what I'm doing with it.
What kind of line you using on that thing?
I'm risking it for the biscuit. I got like 12-pound test on there.
My man,
Son.
risking it for the biscuit. I like that. Do you fish any KBF?
KBF, I haven't yet, but I have fished Bass Nation before.
You like that tournament fishing stuff?
I'll be honest.
You don't strike me as a tournament guy.
No, I'm not. I mean, I kick the bucket in most tournaments, and if y'all know me for tournament fishing, I ain't gonna lie. Some tournaments I do kick the bucket. George, if you're watching this, you right, man. But I'd say at least for tournament fishing, I like to do content creation. I like to get out on the water, travel, and fish different places more than I do tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, you were down at ICAST.
Yep.
And you caught some peacock bass while you were down there, right?
Yeah,
Didn't you do
me
that?
and Josh Tatum and Austin, we went down and
Don't
to
tell
Miami.
nobody you like Josh. You know Josh Tatum on this show right there. I'm just kidding. I like
Oh,
Josh.
Tater.
No, he's a good one.
Oh yeah,
Either
tater
way.
tot.
How'd you like catching them peacocks down there, though?
It was fun, man. We literally, you could go to a canal off the side of the road, throw like a pink or yellow jerk bait, or you could throw like a white fluke, smack them.
Really?
You could just toss it under the storm drain, pop it a few times, and they would just come out and freaking smack it.
For those that have never caught a peacock bass before, compare it to a largemouth or a spot up here, or even a shoalie.
So I'd say out of all those fish, it fights really good. It fights probably the hardest out of all of them. I mean, you will get your arm broke with one of those.
Yeah.
But the colors is crazy. Like, it's something just wicked, man. It's just like all kind of tropical colors.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to explain, but it's pretty
So
cool.
Anthony Hamilton, that owns Digital Sportsman, when I was down in Miami, he talked about maybe going to Central America to fish for those jokers.
Oh man, that'd be fun.
So I'm looking forward to that. Daniel, if you're Anthony, if you're watching, take me to Central America. Let's go. Let's go down there and catch some peacocks and all that. So, what's your ideal rod length for fishing from a kayak? Because now look, so we got two sets of thoughts here. We got me and Clint, and then we got y'all. All right, we got you and Alex.
Me and him are going to be different, though.
We got y'all.
Me and
We
him will
all
be different,
float.
though, because
We
I
do
don't fish.
float, but
I
we
don't
got
fish the
y'all.
river.
Huh?
I don't really fish the river, so my
Yeah,
selection's
but
going to be
y'all
a
sit.
little
And I
different.
started in a kayak.
Yeah,
I was
but-
fishing
but-
big bass tournaments out of a kayak.
But you graduated.
Yeah.
Do you sit when you pee?
Only if I might have to shark.
I'm just kidding. I love my kayak, guys. I'm looking forward to it. But seriously, so in a kayak, it is a little bit different. I did fish out of a kayak one time on Lake Lanier, and you're definitely not, I like to come overhanded when I cast on
Yeah.
the boat and all that, but you got to come sidearm. You got to do different things. When it comes to overall rod length, now everybody's a little different, but for you, and then Alex, I want you to answer this question.
Okay.
I want y'all's opinions on rod lengths coming out of a kayak, and we might even let Clint talk about it too.
So I'd say for kayak, I'm using between like a 6'8" or a 7. I won't go really anything over 7.
Even with that mag draft?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Alright.
mean, I could literally just
Got the
yeah,
got the sound
just flip
effects.
the wrist, and that gets it going pretty good.
So you stay short.
Yeah.
For the most part. What about you, Alex?
Yeah.
My longest rod is 7.6
7.6?
Yeah, it's
What
my-
do you
it's
throw on
my-
a 7.6?
swim baits.
So you do go a little
Mhm.
bit bigger.
Yeah, swim baits and glide baits. Yeah.
Do you?
Yep.
Like he does? Okay.
Mhm.
All
Yeah,
right.
I can't throw behind me. I got like 12 rods back there.
Yeah, you got okay. That's the next question. But Clint, real quick about you in the kayak.
In the kayak, I mean, I'd say 7.6 was about as long as I'd go, because it does make a difference, and it depends on like how high up you sit.
Yeah.
So like I had a new canoe Frontier or whatever, but I put a fucking lawn chair in it,
Right.
and so I could sit up higher, so that way I could use longer rods when I was skipping docks. And
Oh,
stuff.
I gotcha.
So like when I was skipping HUDs and mag drafts and stuff like that around those dock cables, because in the mountains everything's got a dock cable. I mean, Lanier, Alatoona
Oh, I
got
know
dock cables and stuff. So like trying to get up under them.
Well, I was fishing with Josh one time. And he threw over a dock cable, and he goes, "They ought to paint those things orange so you can see them." I'm like, that would be the ugliest thing. It's just a lake full of orange cables.
They're
Yeah.
supposed to
Everywhere
put,
like that.
pool noodles on them.
Yeah, but you see
You don't
it, right?
see them half the time.
No, you don't.
No, you
No,
don't.
it is the worst
Even the
thing.
ones with pool noodles, I still miss them
and,
sometimes.
and I'm thinking, man, I just made a perfect cast, and you get the reeling.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
you're over it.
It's always
yeah.
as soon as you're like, dang, I got right in there in that corner. And you're like, oh, he's got it. And then
He's
you're
got
like,
it. Oh, I got
no.
it.
Wow. Something.
So Southeast Georgia Kayak Bass Fishing said his biggest rod is a 7-11 in a kayak. My Lord. That's big. You got to whip from the side a long
yeah.
way.
It's got to be a flipping stick or something
Yeah.
setup. I mean,
So Dino Bolin, he stayed with the Westbrook crew. So I guess when you were down there, you
Oh,
hung out
yeah.
with them guys and all
Westbrook grew. We had a good old time, man.
that. Was Walton with you guys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, old Walton. You can't go down. You can't go down to Orlando with Walton. He'll get you in trouble right there. Aaron Young, what end of the kayak do you pee off of? Very good question, actually. So when you got to go to the bathroom on a kayak,
Oh Lord, this was good because this happened the other day, man. I was fishing my buddy's lake. I was fishing Drew's lake. It's sitting right over there. And I was trying to find a bush or a tree to get behind to like go pee. And I found a tree and I pee off the front of it or the side. It just depends on like how bad I gotta go wherever really.
I got a question. Was the lake crowded?
No, there wasn't anybody out, but
So why
somebody
you
stepped out
hiding?
the door and I zipped up real quick.
Oh, it has houses on it and all that. Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
I had to
got
get
you.
behind a tree on that one.
You can't just sit there and just turn it sideways and go off the side of the boat.
I mean, you can, but they're looking out the window. A lot of folks down like
No, you just think they are. I mean, I just peed out of the front of the store. You just got to time it with the cars and all that. So you're all good right there like that.
I make sure my camera's off though. I got to make sure that's off.
right. You are
Yeah.
filming everything.
Yeah,
right
I
there.
got-
We don't
I
need
gotta-
no
so,
fishing point.
I got to make sure the camera's off.
so this weekend I had a tournament on Lanier, and I just mounted a new camera. I've got a new camera mount to mount one on the cowling of my motor, so I can get the whole boat or whatever for just a different camera angle. And so last minute, my old tournament partner from college was going to fish this tournament with me, and he's like, "Hey, Dad's already down there. He's fishing with some other guys, but I can't go. I got to go to this big deal at Clemson or whatever."
Right.
And he's like, "Do you care if Dad fishes?" I was like, "No." I was like, "Come on, Chad. Like, let's go."
Right.
So he jumps in the boat or whatever. It's about like 9:00, and he goes to pee, and he's peeing off the back, and then he's like, "Hey, Clint, is this camera rolling back here?" And I'm like, "Yeah." he's like, "Well, it's got all dick."
Oh my Lord.
He was like, "Delete that." I was like, "Don't worry."
Yeah.
Oh,
But I run all my cameras on looping mode, so I don't have any video evidence. I didn't go back there and click it to make sure I saved the footage or anything. So
you erased the footage.
well, I mean
It's there.
it's gone.
It's gone?
It's gone. Yeah.
Oh man, that's a shame.
Yeah,
That's
should have
a
had some
shame.
good blackmail, but he did at 350 where we were doing it for. He caught a 412 spot on a spinnerbait at 350, and we were like, "Oh God!" And then I mean that helped us. That cold 3 pounds for us.
Did
helped. But I mean that tournament, everybody had 22. I mean it took like 21 to have a check. So
Think about Jordan Lee having to go with a cameraman in his
Oh, yeah.
boat, and he's going off the front of the
Pissing on the
boat and
competition.
setting the hook
yeah,
like that. So in the comment section tonight, we got guys throwing out their suggestions on what you need to do if you got to go to the bathroom right there. So John G. Wilson, all you got to do is pee in a cup, dump it overboard right there. The hospital container works wonders. You know, you just could just stand up and do it.
Yeah,
So-
I just stand up and pee in the pedal drive hole.
Well, that's what Dino Boland said.
Yeah.
Bonafide SS127 has a built-in pee hole. Now, I don't know if that's what they thought about when they were making it right there, but it works right there. So I will tell you this, Gatorade bottles, wide mouth, of course, you know, they work great.
Yeah.
What are you laughing back there, Alex?
Laughing at you.
Huh?
Huh?
Got to make myself
so
feel
the
good.
perfect road.
Tracy Coker, just whip it out. There
Yeah.
you go.
The
Yeah.
perfect road bottle is those core ones, the blue lid. The core water bottles are like 40 ounces, but they're big and tall. They're tall and they have a wide mouth, which is good for on the road. Like I just drove to Texas and back or whatever, but because you don't have to tilt the bottle so much, like you can tilt it as far as you need to, and it like since it's it's 44 ounces, you got plenty of coverage.
You do? You good?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what don't work.
What's that?
Racetrack styrofoam cups.
No,
Ooh.
Because I was
like
like,
probably crack it.
yeah, I was dying one day. And I mean, I just driving down the road and I just started going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
Decided, well, I'm going to put the lid on it, you know, whatever. When I went to grab it, it just smashed all
Oh,
just everywhere
man.
right there. So, hey, listen, it happens to the best of us at time to time. Ain't nobody in here ain't never not peed on themselves.
That's right.
You all know that. So like that.
So if you got a number 2 on the yak, do you hit the bank or what? Or are you hanging off
You
the
gotta
side?
hang it off the side. Matt Robertson, if you're watching this, man, I
Yeah.
got that from you, man.
Oh yeah,
Matt Robertson does it off the side of his kayak.
Off the side of his boat.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little different on fiberglass boat. I feel like
I think
on
so
the
too.
kayak.
Like it's bad enough not to flip that joker while I'm just sitting in it, much less trying to do those things. I'd just squeeze, just hold on for dear life.
Oh, you gotta hold on. I mean, mine's stable, but not. I mean, it's stable, but once you get to the corner, it's leaning a little bit.
Yeah, all I got to
Yeah.
see. I told you before the show. Yeah, the best plans. We're going to talk about fishing, of course. Now we're talking about how to use the bathroom off the kayak.
It's important information.
It
for
is
the
important
viewers, but we
information.
shouldn't be every show, and somehow we work it.
We
in
do work it in. We do somehow. Bar Dog, what did I win the other day? I don't remember. I got a boatload of prizes over there on the desk that I got to mail out. So it's over there somewhere. Aaron Young, I ran this show in the ditch. Hey, listen, without great viewers like you, Aaron Young, this show would not be what it is. I'm just telling you. So we love it. David Weaver, like being 25 feet in the air in a tree stand and it's cold and you have to go.
Mm.
And it's always when the wind's blowing in your face too, like that. Richie Rock and Roll. If you wear bibs, you can stand up and put your container inside your bibs and you can do everything in front of everybody without showing your junk.
So I've got a
Yeah.
good story about container and the bibs, right?
Let's go ahead.
So it was when I was working Black Rifle Coffee, and so we're all standing there, and so I was at the tournament on Lake Fork, and all the marshals are standing around in the morning. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, dark outside, whatever. Everybody before the big Texas Fest when Patrick Walters won by like 30 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
And so all the marshals are standing there, and it's like bunch of old guys, and there's one older lady that's there, right? And so she's just standing there. We're all talking or whatever, and then all of a sudden she just like pops out this Folgers can. She like whips out this Folgers can or whatever, and she walks over to behind the booth and dumps it out. And then she comes back, and the can was gone, and I was like, and then come to find out, that's how she pees in the boat. And she was standing there talking to everybody and was just peeing. We had no idea. She's just she'll tuck her arms inside her bibs and Folgers can it. And then
Folgers can it?
And then she literally like pulled it out. And I was like, I don't know where she's keeping it. I guess it was just tucked in her bib somewhere.
Hey.
But I was like, dang, that was kind of impressive. I ain't gonna lie.
You do whatever you got to do.
But I can't imagine, I mean, being a woman marshal, and you don't want to interfere with the angler. And it's like,
It is something we don't ever think about.
Yeah.
For sure. Far Dog, what do kayak anglers do so boats can see them better for safety?
So we normally run a flag, and that's to let people know where we're at. Normally we have lights. If it's dark, we're always running our running lights.
Right.
So flag, running lights, make sure you have at least those so people can see you.
Yeah.
But still then, sometimes people can't see you.
Yeah. No, I said, me and Brett Matthews were fishing a tournament on Lanier, and we took off. And it was early in the morning. And there was a kayak guy out in the middle of Lanier in a gray kayak, low light condition, gray kayak, no flag, no nothing. Luckily, Brett's a good driver. I don't know if he remembers it, but he saw it, and we were able to steer clear. But I was like, that guy was almost invisible at that time of day. So it was definitely unsafe. Troy Mims, I wear a bright colored shirt and a flag, and you should. And then coffee can for the wind gone fishing. Herschel meters. For the yak, transmission funnel with a hose to direct it to the scupper hole. For my boat, little Johnny urinal. Listen, you guys got everything. I just stand up and go. Air horn and whistle, that's a safety thing. Construction site, green shirts help and all that. Hey, listen, all that stuff. Being safe, number one, is the biggest thing. Let's actually talk some fishing.
Let's do it.
Because, I mean, I can talk out of poop and pee off a boat all day long, but I don't know that everybody else wants to hear that. Right now, April, basket ready to go on bed. I know you fish rivers a lot. How does the spawn happen in a river compared to a lake?
So it's a little bit different. With the shoal bass, they spawn a little bit later. So they like spawn around like later in April. They start like pre-spawn right now, and later in April they start pulling up pretty shallow and spawning. Their spawn is a little bit different. They'll spawn around rocks and stuff, but they'll spawn like in super shallow areas.
Really?
Like 2 foot of water, 2 to 3 foot of water.
They'll come up shallow in the river.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit later.
A little bit later.
That's Shoalies.
Shoalies.
What about largemouth?
Largemouth, you got some that are spawning right now, but some are still in pre-spawn mode.
Do they act like, in a lake we look for that little bright patch, what we want to say, shallow water
Light
and everything
spots.
like that.
Yeah,
So I mean,
spot.
how do you tell in a river?
River,
Same thing. Can you just see them?
Yeah, you can see them. I mean, you can see it kind of like a bed where they would be at, and they'll be on it. It's kind of like a largemouth bed.
Do they spawn in the current or mostly out?
That was my next question.
They'll
Yeah.
spawn kind of in those flat sections, but
Mhm.
they'll also, some of them will spawn in the current, but most of the time I'm finding them when they're running water and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's always interesting to me, is how a bass in a river acts compared to a bass in a lake.
For sure.
But they still got to spawn. They still got to do all the same things. We had Warren was on about a month, 2 months ago. Warren Barnes was on, and he was talking about, do you fish for spots in the river a good bit, spotted bass around here?
I catch a lot of spots in the Edwall.
Okay, so you're familiar with them. He said that they kind of act like trout in that everybody's sometimes casting to the bank, but lots of times they'll get out in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll be all in the middle of the river compared to the bank because of the current, how the current affects them. So they act a lot like trout. Have you found that out?
A lot like trout. They get spooked like trout. They like their territories like trout. They hide behind rocks. You'll catch them in the middle sometimes too, especially like in the summer.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
See, the river
In
fishing
deeper
is all
areas.
different. I'm not familiar at all with river fishing. Are you?
I mean, I fished like the Tuckasegee all the time in college when I lived up there, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't fished any down here.
Right. And so, Alex, I would say, though, as far as kayak guys go, though, you're still more of a lake guy.
Yeah, I've never been on a river before.
Have you, really?
Zero.
What the hell am I asking you to go down a river
Hey,
for with me?
I'll go down
I thought
with
you
you.
had experience.
Hell no.
Oh, good Lord. I'm going to die. I think I'm
Hell
thinking
no,
Alex
I
will like,
got a kayak because I
Oh,
can't
no.
afford a boat.
You got a kayak because you can't afford a boat? Well, let me ask you this. Would you rather fish, if you had the money and you had the choice, would you rather have a glitter rocket or a kayak?
Kayak all the way.
Kayak all the way.
Plastic boat all the way.
Why?
I don't know, man. I would say just because you can get in some tight spots. I mean, you get a boat in some tight spots, but a kayak, you can get in like 1 foot. I can get my kayak in like less than 1 foot of water.
Yeah.
And get in some places where like it gets so tight that you're like, how did I even get in here? But
Yeah.
you managed to get in there.
Well, that's what a lot of kayak guys say.
Yeah.
It's all about access.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it makes sense.
And I mean, where they can go fish is completely different to where we can go put a boat in. We have to have a boat ramp. We have to have all this stuff. They can pull up at
Side of the road.
yeah,
Dump
side of the
that.
road. Yeah, throw that thing in there.
Absolutely. Weather Service, Far Dog. Listen to this. Now, he is in Oklahoma. Weather Service is predicting 14 inches of rain over the next 5 days. Could you imagine how blowed out our rivers here would be with 14 inches of rain? Carter's would be flooded, number one.
Yeah.
The Etowah would be just chocolate milk. Does the Flint down there, when it rains a lot down in South Georgia, because we don't really cover South Georgia a lot,
Right.
does it really muddy up after a good rain? Is it just like up here?
It gets rough, man. It gets like Whitewater Central down there. It gets,
Really?
Yes. It gets
It's that
rough.
fast
It gets fast.
compared to the Chattahoochee up here.
Chattahoochee gets bad too, but the Flint gets pretty bad as well.
Which one's worse in heavy rain?
Ooh. Well, I've been on the Flint when it's bad, and I'd say it got a little bit sketchy there for a second.
Really?
Oh yeah,
I like sketchy.
I do too. But
I like sketchy.
that day I risked it for the biscuit, and I didn't get no reward out of it.
I like
so.
what he said. Risk it for the biscuit.
Oh, yeah.
That's a term we got to coin. You need a T-shirt.
I do, man.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you got your YouTube channel. Get somebody to print you up a shirt, say "Risk it for the biscuit," and start selling that thing and make you some money, and then get a haircut.
I don't know about the haircut.
No, I'm
part.
just playing.
I gotta
David Weaver wants to know: do you throw a buzz bait at all?
Oh yeah.
Hell no, he's throwing that damn chopo.
No, I do throw a buzz bait, a black buzz bait,
Shit,
or
I
a,
spit in the wrong cup. My bad.
or a white spinner or white buzz bait as well. Also, I'll throw a double
Clear ball.
buzz bait too. That's a good one. As
Now,
well.
okay, so the double buzz bait.
Mhm.
Which one do you like to throw? Because I like throwing the accent because it's got the floats on it and it comes up really quick.
That double buzz bait, something else.
Okay, what color do you like to throw?
You got to throw it in the black blades with the black.
You're an
skirt.
all black,
Yeah, all black.
no matter what time of day.
It's got to be black.
No, I want that bottle right, that mason jar. The jar and bottle are two different things. Yeah, my bad. So, but that's interesting. So black blades and a black buzz bait.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we can just sit it right here. Yeah.
especially that Picasso black buzz bait.
Oh my Lord. You gonna come up here and talk about little spotties and everything. You throw the little spotty from Picasso.
I do.
I figured you did. You look like,
Well, it's the double black buzz bait.
but you like that from Picasso.
Oh yeah.
Is it that one that's rusted already and it squeaks like crazy?
Oh yeah. It sounds like a Tweety bird.
Like a what?
A Tweety
Like a
bird.
Tweety bird. That's something we ain't never talked about on here. Sound like a Tweety bird.
Son.
So if somebody comes to you and says, I throw a buzz bait, well, it's got good sound like a Tweety bird.
Hey, I mean, I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
All right. With those buzz baits. So now a lot of guys around here, not a lot, but some still do. They'll pull that buzz bait out and they'll tie it in front of a fan or they're tied on their antenna on their car and start going down the road to get that sound. Now I'm going to let you give Picasso a little bit of love here. Do you have to do any tweaking with the Picasso buzz bait to get the sound that you want?
Right out of the box, it's sounding like a Tweety bird to me. I mean, you can put it on your truck antenna and go down the road, but unless you want it to sound a little bit different, that color that sound it comes with is perfect.
You like it?
Oh yeah.
I love it. Let's see. Silver Punk. Is that who we just talked? Is that the question? Gone Fishing with Ed. I don't recognize that name right there, but I'm glad you showed up with us tonight. Keep coming back. Hey, I get my John boat in less than a foot of water all the time. 100%. Can't go wrong with old Lumacraft 1436. I can put that joker in some skinny water right there. But do not run it up onto a stump. I did that every once in a while on Latham. I'll run that thing up onto a stump and let it anchor me a little bit. You can get stuck.
Oh yeah.
You can get stuck right there. South Georgia kayak bass, Savannah, Ogeechee. Am I saying that right? Ogeechee.
Ogeechee.
And all the smaller rivers down here would be rolling fast with a flood. Talking about down
Oh, yeah.
South Georgia and all that. So, Christopher Henry. Hey, a lot of guys need boat ramps as well. Some are too heavy, so you put them on a trailer.
That's
Now,
me.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
And it's got to be the same thing with Fluke Masters too.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
100%.
these kayaks got casting decks on the front of them. They're not kayaks no more. They're boats. I don't care what anybody says. But the kayak world really has evolved over the last, what do you want to say, 5, 6, 7 years, like
10.
that.
I mean, when I got into it in college, I mean, it was starting to get big. That's when they finally were starting to do
Yeah.
all the big tournaments.
There are guys got 20 grand in a kayak now.
For sure.
I mean, it's a lot. So it wouldn't be me. I'm not putting 20 grand into my Shoalie, but I can see it. But here's the one thing. This is where kayak guys and boat guys always fuss. It's and Alex, you might know where I'm going. It's the kayak guy that pulls up to the boat ramp, pulls his kayak off, sits it there while he goes and either gets ready right there.
Or do you want to talk about the guy that pulls up and parks on the boat ramp while he gets his shit ready?
Yes, that's basically what I'm saying.
Or how about the guys that don't turn their headlights off?
That's the worst.
Oh, yeah.
I see more arguments based upon headlights at a bass tournament than anything. Not cheating, not putting weights in there. It's the guy that backs down and does not cut his headlights off. And he could be the nicest guy in the world, and he's going to get cussed like a dog. And it's always a new guy. First time he's ever fished a tournament. He don't know the rules. He's just backing down. Everybody's like, hey, cut your lights off. And they're oblivious to what's going on right there. So, Tony Watkins, late but glad you're here, buddy. Southeast Georgia kayak guy. I'm flying through them tonight there. Black, white, and pink buzz baits in the river are a winner. Pink? Do you throw pink anything other than a bubblegum trick worm?
I do not throw a pink buzzbait, but I might be throwing one next time I go.
Who makes a pink buzz bait?
It's a good question. I don't know. I mean, a pink jackhammer almost won the classic last week. So
A pink jackhammer?
yeah,
You want these peaches?
no.
All right. So, yeah, I don't know what was going on with that right there. Far Dog, is this Alex's cousin from South Georgia?
He's talking about Daniel.
You got a little Joe Dirt going there a little bit. You could pull off Joe Dirt.
I could, man. I did that at work one time. I was literally straightening my hair, and I had it almost middle of my back, and I was going off the Joe Dirt vibe pretty good.
Could. So I want you to say this for me. Say, I like Van Halen with Dave, not Sammy. Just say it like that in your tone.
I like Van Halen, not Dave.
No, I like Van Halen with Dave, not Sammy.
Van Halen, not Van Hagar.
Van Halen, not Van Hagar, right there. I like them both. Jacob Howell wants to know, what's your personal best for bass fishing? I guess your big fish.
Yeah, I think that's my cousin, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, he don't know.
But I'd say,
He just got cousins coming out of the woodwork.
yeah, he probably was watching. But anyway, I'd say at least Cinco all day long. Cinco.
He's talking about your
He's
biggest
talking about
fish.
your biggest
Oh,
fish,
biggest fish.
man. He got the Joe Dirt vibes going
Man,
on.
my biggest fish is a shoal bass, about a 6-pound shoal bass.
No doubt,
That's a
really.
big
That's a
dude.
big
That's
shoal bass.
awesome.
In the current.
In the current.
Just tell me about that fight.
Yes, so we went down. It was my birthday.
Yeah.
Went down a little place called the Okomogi River.
Uh-huh.
Then you might know. Went down, me and my buddy Nathan. We went down and fished it. And it was cold. It was another cold day.
Uh-huh.
Nobody was on the river. It was just me and Nathan casting a fluke.
In the cold on the river.
In the cold on the river. I was casting up a shoal, popping it a few times. Nathan's like, man, I ain't got nothing. I'm like freezing my tail off. I was like, you should have wore your bibs, man. Over there casting. He's over there just like freezing his tail off. He starts casting a little bit, looks back my way, and I'm hung on one. I'm like, Nate, get the net. Get the net, Nate. He's about running around, about to fall down in the water, runs over, grabs the net. I'm like, dude, this is a giant. It's on the video. And I'm like, oh gosh, dude, this is a big one. Comes right at my feet, turns, goes towards Nate, and Nate about loses him. Nate grabs him with the net and gets him. Freaking giant, dude.
I cannot
awesome.
wait to make TikToks with this accent. This is so good. Like the way he set that story up and everything with his cousin. You're fantastic, man. I love it right there. So, Walton Doyle, don't sleep on pink. Listen,
No
I don't know.
dinks on pink.
Do what now?
No dinks on pink.
No dinks on pink?
No, like that's what we say when we like the pink cast OG.
I thought you were going two in the stink.
No, we're throwing. I did hear a new term.
Alex.
I heard a new term. Mercer was talking about at the Classic last week. He was like, yeah, he's throwing that DDP chatterbait. I was like, what is a DD? I was thinking of some Japanese like JDM chatterbait. He's like, yeah, dog dink pink.
Dog dink. Oh my gosh.
I thought it was funny.
Hey, listen. Hey, well, it is. That is pink though.
Yeah,
they're very pink. Yeah. All right, now Richie Rock and Roll. Listen, I love all versions of Van Halen. I even like Van Halen 3. You got to like it all because the correct answer is Eddie, and he's in all of them right there. Jonah Fordesha, you fish the log often. Now, you don't fish Hickory Log that often, do you?
Not as of this year. I've been fishing it a whole heck of a lot, and I don't even know why, but I've been on them.
At the log?
Oh, yeah. I went yesterday.
Did you?
Got about 10 to 15 fish. I'd say 10, and best fish was probably pushing 4.
Really?
Yep.
So we had a tournament 2 Saturdays ago, and I couldn't make it. I had to go to a funeral, but my brother-in-law fished with a partner. He's my regular partner. He took a 10-2-4 off the dam.
Jeez.
oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. So
Dang.
he calls me up and he goes, "We got 2 fish, Danny. We can't catch nothing." I said, "What part of the lake you on?" He goes, "I'm at the upper part by the dam." I said, "Listen, go in front of that. There's a buoy out there, or that buoy line, or whatever the hell they call it." I said, "Park against that. Get whatever you can get that you can bomb it up there and hit the concrete on the dam and just let it hit."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "I promise you, you'll pick up." I thought just some little ones.
Something. Yeah.
His second cast with an underspin, mind you. Boom. He said, hit it. Thought he was hung. 10-2-4. He said he beat the paint off that underspin the rest of the day off that concrete right there. But that's for those of you that are fishing Hickory Log, that like to fish Hickory Log. If you can get out there in a boat, certain times of the year, I don't mind telling you this, if you can get to that, they're always schooling out there in that big water anyway. But if you can get to that thing and you can reach the concrete on the dam, same thing at Latham with their spillway. If you can get, especially if you can get a wacky worm, but most of you guys can't cast one that far. You got to have that cast braid to do that. But I got that stuff. So you chunk it up there. But if you hit that joker, I'm telling you, you're going to pick up a fish or two just on the dam. I think any concrete structure like that, they relate to it. But Hickory Log especially. But I told him to do that. I did not expect a 10-2-4 come out of that thing like that. Dude, I got all of a sudden, I'm in the middle of a funeral. My phone is blowing up. And it's like pictures of this fish and all that. And I'm trying to listen. You know, here's a woman preacher, so I was trying to listen, you know, best I could like that. But she was going off, and I was just kind of like,
Just
wow.
Being the old substitute teacher. Let me just read. Looking down through his glasses.
Yeah, I was. And, and Lord forgive me. I'm sorry I was doing that.
Just at that funeral.
I was, but seriously, but the Hickory Log is one of those lakes. I was talking to Colin Steele that was on the other day, the fishery biologist. Like he's one of those lakes. He thinks that we need to take a bunch of fish out of Hickory Log because there's so many dinks in there. But if you can get your bait in the right place at the right time, there are giants in Hickory Log.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's 12-inch bass and there's bass that eat 12-inch bass, and Hickory Log has them.
They got them.
They got them right there, for sure.
Can you put a boat in on that place?
No, it's electric only. So you got kayak it or go total
so you
electric.
Can't.
No, you can't put anything like that on it. And they only got that one boat ramp, and it's all the way at the far end of the lake. So to get up to the dam, you're wasting a lot of battery, a lot of time to get up there. But it's a great lake. They need gizzard shad in there or some kind of bait fish other than threadfin that they got in there. But when you get those watershed lakes and somebody else owns it and they're in the business of water, they're not going to spend the money to put it on there unless they're Latham, because Latham Reservoir is run by Mark, and Mark does an absolutely fantastic job at that lake. That is the best run lake around whatsoever. John G. Wilson caught my personal best on the Oconee River last Christmas Day. Now here's where we come with you kayak, guys. 24.25.
That's a big fish.
That's a giant.
All right, so give me that in weight. 24.25.
That's probably 7 pounds, 8 pounds.
7-8 pounds.
I'd say 8.
Really?
At
I'm
Christmas,
I'm thinking
Yeah.
8.
That's big.
Yeah,
Dude.
if it's on Christmas, it ain't.
24-inch bass at Christmas. That's an 8-pounder.
It's got all its gut and all that stuff.
Got
So,
to. Yeah.
Tony Hall. So Charlie Adams says, educate. Are you watching the right show? I don't know if we can educate anybody on anything, but we try. We try. Tony Hall. I paint a lot of pink for customers: Sabills, spinnerbaits, buzzbaits, etc. Now that's interesting. Though I know Georgia Blade makes a pink, of all pink nighttime spinnerbait. And so in the summertime, guys on Lake Lanier and all that, because we carry them, they will buy that pink.
Mm-hmm.
And Georgia Blade has it listed as a nighttime spinnerbait, not a dirty water spinnerbait, but a nighttime spinnerbait. So that's kind of interesting right there. Clay Ragsdale. Let's right up there. You don't have to pull out. Let hook them hogs.
Oh yeah.
Is that how you say it? Let hook them hogs.
Heck yeah.
Shoal bass is my love. I've never caught a shoal bass, and so that's on the bucket list for 25. I might have to go with you to do it.
We got to make it happen. We got to make it happen.
Well, he don't make it happen. We're just gonna do it.
We're gonna do it.
He said that bass weighed 7.62. So a 24-inch bass weighed 7.62. So you guys were close, 7-8 pounds, right there. So I always find it interesting. But I love you kayak guys though. Yeah, I had 101 inches for the tournament, and I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Just give me the weight like that. So he cranking and yanking goes, damn, speaking of mullets right there. I'm telling you, this guy's got the best mullet in Georgia going on. So, and John says that bass was kind of skinny. Christmas Day, kind of skinny, 7.62. So, I mean,
yeah.
I wonder if it had eggs in it at that point in time.
Probably not. I mean, December is still pretty early for the.
How much weight you reckon a bass puts on when they like full of eggs?
It's anywhere from half a pound to 3 pounds.
Really, it's that big of a variable.
Yeah, it just depends on what spawn it is for them, and like how healthy they are. I mean, if they're eating, like,
so a healthy bass could put on 2.5, 3 pounds.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I
before the spawn.
Caught a spot on Saturday that was 14 inches long and 2 pounds 13 ounces. It was 14 inches.
Really?
Yeah.
Where was that at? Was it Lanier?
Lanier.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I went out last week and every spot I caught had a big old gut on it.
Oh yeah.
Those are Danny fish.
They did. They look a lot like
Danny
you.
fish right there, baby. They're healthy.
Pruitt bass.
Pruitt bass. That's what we're gonna call them now. So you 14-inch, 2-pound spots from now on, or 2.5-pound spots. Those are Pruitt fish. Let's trademark it right there. We'll do that.
Yeah.
So let's go back up right there. Pull up Gone Fishing with Diaz. What's up, buddy? Daniel, I know you like to throw a wacky rigged worm. What's your favorite worm? And he's gonna tell you, then I'm gonna correct him. Now go ahead. What's your favorite wacky rig? Because that's my favorite thing to throw.
My favorite. Are we talking about brand or just
brand,
worm?
color,
The worm.
whatever
Worm.
catches them?
Got to be green pumpkin blue flake. Got to be green pumpkin blue flake and
Yeah.
a clout worm. Clout worm.
You like the
Clout
Oh
worm.
yeah, clout worm.
You don't
It
like
holds up good.
It does.
Yeah.
It's got a good action to it. I mean, you at least get 3 or 4 fish off of it without breaking one.
Do you use a ring?
You know, I've had love and hate relationship with O-rings lately.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. For me, a lot of the times I'm just hooking it in the middle and going with it.
Yeah.
I'll go through a pack of worms, but I'd rather go through a pack of worms than lose a fish.
Yeah, for sure. So like when I throw you throw it weightless or with a weight? 'Cause
Weightless.
I'm a weightless guy. 100% weightless, 99% of the
Oh
time.
yeah.
Good. All right. So I knew I liked you. But I will only put a ring on if I am standing back off a point, like if I'm on Lanier or something, and I am having to bomb it. But other than that, I like to just go straight through the worm. If I'm around docks or close quarters, I don't ever put a ring on it. I just don't like it. Plus, it's a pain in the ass. And I like Yamamoto's. I love their Senkos, but you get and I'm one that I'll do it by hand. I'll just stick that ring on, just kind of work it up so that salt kind of kicks out on it and all that. But you can break a lot of them off if you're not paying attention while you're pulling that up. But do you like any? Okay, so you like the cloud? What do you say? Clouder?
Clout worm.
It's a 6 cents.
6 cents worm. Okay, so if you didn't have that, what's your next option?
Got to be the Ocho Strike King.
Ocho Strike King.
Ocho Strike King.
Yeah, listen. I'm glad that finally we got a guest, even though he looks a little different. He's a kayak guy that likes to throw the weightless wacky like I like. That's my favorite way to catch a fish. I don't think you can beat it. If I had, I'll ask all you guys this question. Because I'll tell you what, if I had one bait to throw the rest of my life, and that's all I could, it would be a weightless wacky. So, Alex, I'll start with you. One bait the rest of your life. Don't worry about color, just one bait.
Probably shaky head.
Shaky head. You can't go wrong with shaky head.
Weightless wacky.
Yeah, hell yeah, I like that. What about you?
I'd probably go Nico.
Nico. So we're all kind of in the general area.
Nail weight in it. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Do you ever on your wacky do anything like with the nail weights to kind of make it a Nico?
I'll do a Nico. Nico for sure.
You like that?
Yeah. Especially if I'm fishing a little bit deeper water, like 30 foot, between 25 to 30 foot. If I'm fishing Lanier, if I'm fishing Altoona.
Yeah.
Even Hartwell, I'll throw that.
Yeah. Will King says, may have outfished Daniel on the log one day, but he beat me yesterday. Still looking for that 6+.
So it was funny because he called me and I was getting my hair done. He's like, I'm on the water. I'm on the water, man. I got nothing right now. And I was like, man, you sure or not? Thunderstorm's coming. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, thunderstorm's coming. I'm getting in this tunnel. I was like, well, I'll be out there in a little bit. So I got out there. He'd already got a couple of fish. And I'm like, oh, man, I got to do something. I got to put some magic sauce on the worm or something. So I did. I put some of that thump gel on it.
Do you like that thump gel?
Heck yeah, I do.
I swear to God, this is the next reincarnation of Joe Dirt. Listen, every mannerism about him, I love to hear him talk. I think I could sit and drink beer.
Is this where you want to be when Jesus comes back?
Huh? What?
Is this where you want to be when Jesus comes
Well,
back?
I don't know about that now, but still, like I could listen to this guy talk all day long like that. He sets up a story. He puts in the little adjectives that you need to do, and he has excitement. Like, I got to put that thump gel on it. I got to work some magic and get that biscuit or whatever the hell he says earlier, like that. So
That's a good content creator. You got to tell a good story.
you do. And we're going to get to your content and stuff after we do the question of the night. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, guys. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you, whoever wins the question, I'm going to give you 2 packs of 6.25 softy worms right here in the Texas red color. I'm going to send you 2 packs of these. Why am I sending you 2 packs of those? Because they changed the color a little bit. So I can't have these 2 packs on the wall, but they're great worms. I don't think you can't beat a softy worm. Now, this question has 3 answers. What are you pointing at? Oh yeah. Well, I was going to get to that, but we'll go ahead and do it. We'll go ahead. Alex, the producer back there is telling me, Danny, let's shout out Serve IT
Cart
first.
before the horse there.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. He's just got his talking's got me excited. All that, guys. If your company, whether big or small, is looking for a complete and total IT service solution, Serve IT is the company for you. They're based in America. They are customer service oriented, and I'm telling you what, their process is amazing. I wish you could go down there and actually tour their facility to see it on the wall. 100% the way a company should be run, and they are absolutely the solution for your company's IT needs. And also, if you are in the market of changing jobs and maybe IT is what you want to get into, whether you got experience or not, go to serveit.com and check out the career section. Tell them you heard about it on Fish North Georgia. Talk to them. They're looking for people that are outgoing, they got the right attitude, and that are customer service oriented. So we want to thank Serve IT for sponsoring the question of the night. Now, am I good now?
I think so.
No, I'm ready to go because this is going to be fun. All right, so you guys, let me go ahead and preface this. You guys that have questions up there, we got to watch the answers. So we'll probably miss your question. After we do this question of the night thing right here, go ahead and redo your question so we can get back to it. Now, this question has 3 parts, 3 answers. Don't put one in the comment section, all 3 answers. Now, the special thing about this is Mullet Man here is going to sing a song. This song is your hint to who the question is about, okay? On this date in history, something tragic happened. I need to know who it was, what happened, and what year. So I'm going to repeat it again. On this date in history, something tragic happened. I need to know who it was, what happened to him, and what year. Now, here's the lyric. He has not seen this before. You have not seen this before. I just want you to start singing, okay?
All right.
Do your best. Do you know the song?
No, probably not, but I'm going to sing it.
You sing it. This is your hint. This is the only hint I'm going to give you because Kevin Thornton will beat me if I give you any more hints. So again, on this date in history, something tragic happened. Who was it? What happened? What year? Here's your clue.
Get up, get up. Wake up, wake up. Oh, baby, now let's get down tonight. Oh, baby, I'm not just like an oven. I need some loving. That's right. And, baby, I can't hold him much longer. Stronger and stronger.
Keep going.
And when it gets to feeling that sexual healing on baby makes me fine, so fine.
Keep going.
Helps me relieve my mind. Sexual healing, baby, is good for me. Sexual healing is something that's good for me. Whatever them blue teardrops are falling, my emotions stability is leaving me. Boys, I can't sing a lick. There is something I can do. I can telephone and call you, baby.
You're
And
close,
honey,
Carson. You're close.
Honey, I know you there to relieve me. I love you. Give me, will free me. If you don't,
You're close.
if you don't know the thing you're dealing, I
All
can't
right,
tell
Jessica Keller. Jessica Keller got it in the answer. You've never heard that song? Because, like I'm telling you, like you were like nowhere near the way the song is.
Yeah, I don't know. I made it my own, really.
I've never
So
heard it either.
Marvin, on this date in history,
Y'all have never heard that song?
sexual healing. You never heard that. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Let's get down tonight. You never heard that stuff?
No, I don't
Son,
think I
you
have.
need to get on to that Marvin Gaye.
I don't
So,
think I have.
Marvin Gaye was shot on this date in 1984 by his father. That's a crappy way to go out, having your old man just shoot you like that. But that happened. You ain't never heard Sexual Healing by Marvin Gaye?
Yeah, I'm behind the times. I don't know.
Oh, hell, when did that? I mean, this.
I mean, if you got shot in '84, that's a while ago, Dan.
Well, it is. You better go right. Sexual healing, baby. It's good for me. You ain't never heard nothing like that?
No, man, I ain't
All
heard
right,
that.
Print it out any bigger?
Listen.
I was trying to squint, man.
I saw that print. I'm like, yeah, that's
He
kinda
looks like
tight.
you at the funeral, just trying to look at that bass, holding it far away.
I was like that. But here's why I took that. Because I get on the Associated Press every day, and they always have this date in history. And so I saw that, and I'm like, I bet if I print out the words to Sexual Healing and get him to sing it right there, that would be good. You did a good job, by
Yeah,
the way.
good job.
I mean, you listen, you were nowhere close, but you did
Oh, yeah.
a good job right there. Alan Kowicki also died on this day. Also, today was the day that we the American forces went to Okinawa, landed on Okinawa, and it was a couple. Cranking and yanking. Marvin's father murdered him, and Mullet Man murdered that song right there.
That's 100% facts right there. You ain't lying.
That comment wins.
That comment wins right there. Oh, cranking and yanking. I can depend on him right there. So, really, like you ain't never took a girl out and had some Marvin Gaye playing in the background?
Yeah, I fish too much, man. I'm gonna be
Oh,
honest.
you're one of those. You in love with the bass?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Maybe you should play the song for the bass next time you're on the river.
Man, they might run away from me, to be honest.
Let's get
You
down
don't have to
tonight.
sing it; just play it.
Sexual healing. You ain't never. Oh man,
Man, I hadn't heard of it.
You've never. Have you heard of Marvin Gaye?
I don't even think I've heard of Marvin. I haven't heard of Marvin. Gaye.
Woo! Man, ain't romance nothing. All right, so when you, listen, when you leave here tonight, get out there in your car, pull up "Sexual Healing" by Marvin Gaye, and just drive and turn that thing up, and just imagine you with your bass in a kayak. Okay, that's because you ain't doing the woman thing. So imagine your bass in there, and you just get up, get up, get up, get up. Let's get down tonight. All right. Anyway, Jonah Ford. So, hey, Mullet, do you throw a chatterbait?
I do throw a chatterbait, not as much as I should, but I do have one tied on. I've let little mini max tied on.
A little mini mate, but
Little
you
mini
throw it
max.
more often than you listen to Marvin Gaye, then, huh?
Yeah,
Oh, by the way, who won that?
Jessica.
Jessica. Hey, hit me on Facebook. Send me your address, Jessica, and I'll send you these lures. So, but appreciate you watching tonight, right there. Hey, listen, if you pay attention on Facebook, she can fish Lanier.
Yeah, she can. She catches
can.
some big old
She's holding
fish.
up.
She's always holding up good spots. Now, I think, if we're being honest, she outfishes her husband.
Yeah,
I think so.
probably.
I think so.
Most women do.
Most women do because they
Yeah.
got no bad habits.
Mm.
We men have bad habits.
Oh yes.
And I never see him in the pictures anyway. I have seen him before. I saw, we talked to him down at the Jimbo's thing when we were sitting back there. They came up and talked to me like
Okay.
that. So yeah, there's a reason why he's not in the pictures. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Like that.
He outpunted his coverage. Is that what you're saying?
We all outpunt our coverage. Every guy alive outpunts his coverage. We do not deserve the women in our lives at all, or in Mullet Man's case, the bass. So like that. So anyway, all right. So you do throw a chatterbait. Now,
Oh, yeah.
what did you say again?
mini max.
Why do you like throwing that one?
Small presentation. I feel like I get more bites.
On the river more so than the lake, or you throw it on both?
Throw it on both. River, I'm gonna throw a little bit bigger chatterbait, like a jackhammer.
Like a jackhammer. So I've heard, Nate, I mean, you like throwing chatterbaits, don't you?
Mhm. Yeah,
So jackhammer is the gold
and
standard.
they just released a baby jackhammer at the Classic.
Did they really?
Yeah, it's a smaller hook and same action. It's sweet. I got a couple.
So, and I did this for you, Alex. That new Spro chatterbait, the jumper or whatever they call it.
Mhm.
Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Check it out on Tackle Warehouse. I got you some coming because I
Oh,
know you
did you?
like throwing the chatterbait.
Yeah, I do. I've been throwing the brigade blade.
The brigade blade.
Yeah,
The brigade blade.
you can't
You want
find
to go ahead and
them.
do one of your unpaid
No, you can't get them. So I mean,
TikTok shop.
TikTok
not
shop?
even not even
Can't get it on
can't even do
Temu?
it. You can't get them at all.
You can't.
You can get them on eBay for about $40 a piece.
I ain't paying $40 for no.
I'd hang that up in a rock.
Yeah. You pay $40 for a bladed jig?
No, I pay $15 for it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's jackhammer style right
Yeah.
there. But anyway, I got you some of the new Spro ones coming.
Cool. I'll
I
throw
didn't
them.
ask you. I just
I'll throw them.
because I know you throw them.
Yeah.
Clint can have some too.
Okay.
So
And
I
right
guess so.
now is the time to throw a chatterbait on the herring lake, for sure.
why is that?
I mean, this is just the time that catch them good on it. So like targeting those blow throughs, like herring spawns starting right now.
So you take a chatterbait as opposed to the standard way of throwing it in grass and all that, and you're equating
I'm
it to a
hitting
herring spawn.
Super shallow shoals, 3/8 ounce chatterbait, and I'm sitting there winding it with my rod tip up, just burning it as fast as I
Keeping
can.
it up in the water column.
Yeah. So I'll throw a regular 1/2 ounce jackhammer and put a 5.4 cast echo on the back, and it's just a bigger presentation of that herring, and you can just burn it up top.
Hey,
And then with that,
Ian said, "Get closer to the mic, homeboy,
get closer to
or
the
take
mic.
the mic to
Yep.
you, baby. Make love to
Here.
the mic."
And this one's for you. And
I don't even want to.
he knows he can't
I
put
don't
two
even
hands
know
on
what
it.
to know.
He
I don't
knows he
wanna know.
can't put two hands on it. And with the Mini Max, the cool thing about the Mini Max or the baby jackhammer they just came out with, you can put the little 275 on there for when they're super finicky. Because like right now, they're either eating that big herring or that tiny little thread fin. So you can kind of have both presentations on deck and just go run and gun blow throughs like on linear Alatoona, Hartwell.
Does the color
lakes
make
like
a
that.
difference? You going with a shad color?
I'm going with a shad color. So I'll throw like a white or just like a white and silver shad presentation, something along those lines. You can get away with pink. You can get away with white and chartreuse, depending on the
Who's
water
giving us a
clarity.
thumb down? Hey, have you seen our new thing? Watch this. No. Put your thumb up. Put it on me. It's supposed to give you a thumbs up.
It's
There we
probably
go.
delayed.
Now watch
There
this.
you go.
Now, if you get 2 thumbs up, watch this. So if you ever want to look at there,
Son.
Yeah, fireworks.
got
behind
fireworks, man. Got Joe Dirt and fireworks here
me.
tonight.
Hey, you can't get no better than that.
Listen, I'm loving this. Christopher Henry wants to know, what kind of music do you listen to?
Listen to that old country, man. I listen to Morgan Wallen too. I ain't gonna lie, some new country, but you gotta have some Hank Williams Jr.,
There you
Conway
go.
Twitty.
There you go.
My
Listen,
man.
hey, listen. Hank Williams Jr. is my favorite.
Yes.
When it comes to country, there's Hank Williams Jr. and there's everybody else. But go back and listen to Conway Twitty songs and listen to the lyrics.
I listen to Conway all the time.
Listen, Conway is like a dirty old man if you
Oh,
listen to
yeah.
the lyrics, man. Like Conway Twitty is like,
They all
Eddie
were back
Murphy
then,
on the
man.
mic. So.
yeah, but he's just, you know, just listen to Conway Twitty lyrics now that I've said that, and you're like, man, was perv right there going on. Think about his songs, and so listen to them next time you like. But I like Conway Twitty. I like that. But as long as you say Hank Jr., we're golden like that. That's my life. Seriously, Hank Jr. in the country, Van Halen in the rock and roll, and then there's everything else.
Can't forget Joe Diffie too, man.
I seen him in concert.
Really?
Hell
That's
yeah.
cool.
Back at what was that place in Marietta? It used to be called Cowboys or Cadillac or something like that. It was a big country western bar in Marietta off of 41 somewhere. I can't remember the name of it. Cowboys or something like that. But anyway, I saw Joe Diffie there.
Yeah.
It was good. Old John Deere Green, man. You can't go wrong with
Oh,
John
yeah.
Deere Green right there for
That's
sure.
a good one.
It is a good one.
I was singing that over here.
You singing John Deere Green on the way when we get out in the country? And you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, yeah, we're going up to Marble Hill. Well, John Deere Green. Morgan Wallen and the mullet go hand in hand. Absolutely. T. Toms, appreciate you joining us tonight right there. Jeremiah just released his 9th 5-pounder in the last 3 weeks. Where's the dang 10 already? Just keep throwing right there. Hey, one Leah Wagner says that was Electric Cowboys or something like that. So that was the place. Do we know her?
Mhm.
Have we ever heard of that girl right there?
We do.
Yeah. Conway was a panty dropper. Listen, that's called PDC. PDC, Panty Dropping Club. Okay. I got my lifetime membership. What about you, Alex?
Conway still is a panty dropper. All right.
Yeah, he is. He is. You listen, I'm not going to lie.
Conway and George Jones, dude. Tell you.
I'm loving her tonight.
Yeah.
George Jones, I like.
I like George Jones.
I like
too.
George Jones, but he's not the woman's man that Conway was.
No.
And he had that old,
He's wearing them
black hair.
suits
and
too.
he wore them suits and all that. You think him and Loretta ever did anything?
Oh, I mean,
Oh yeah, I had to right there. So
Back then,
you know who I'm talking about? You know who Loretta Lynn
Oh,
is?
yeah.
Okay. all
Loretta
right.
Oh yeah.
So all right. Cowboys. Man, I had some good time, spent a lot of money there. Will King, pull up Will King's right there. Bluegill colored mini max with the mooch minnow got me 17 fish on the log a few weeks back. You know, a lot of people putting that mooch minnow on things. You ever use it?
I have picked up a pack, but I don't know, man. For the trailer, for me, it's got to be the Rapala Mayor.
The mayor
The Mayor
on your chatterbaits.
on the Chatterbait.
What do you use again?
I like the cast echo.
You use the Echo.
Yeah.
You use that. What do you use, Alex? Hey, leave $5 on the toilet then there, hon.
the
That costs.
MRE,
I'm just kidding. What?
the MRE from Tactical Fishing Company.
MRE from Tactical Fishing?
Yep.
Okay, there you go. What's Mullet's? Listen, they don't call you by your name, man. You just call it Mullet. What's Mullet's favorite moving bait from now until summer?
Ooh, moving bait.
I like that. What's Mullet's?
Moving bait's got to, right now for me, it's been an underspin, flashy swimmer. Got to have either a Mayor on it, or you got to have, I ain't gonna lie, man, that bellows gill's getting to me.
You like that thing?
I do like that thing. That
Do you
G-crack
really?
bellows
That
gill.
G-crack thing. That's the most gimmicky. Have you know that?
They stink, but they work.
It's like a bad Saturday night down at 5 Points is what it stinks like. But do you? But do you? I mean, seriously, you like that
Oh,
thing?
yeah.
What about that bait attracts you, other than the smell?
Well, the smell, I mean, I can't get in my truck without wanting to barf a couple times, but I would say at least weedless, stays weedless. Like your hook is covered up with the swim bait. So you can throw it through structure, trees, grass lines, pretty much anything. Get it under docks without getting hung up. I haven't got hung up yet under a dock, and I've been skipping a bunch of docks lately.
Okay, hey, listen, I just think it's a really goofy looking bait, but whatever, like that. But the stink is true. It's like if I get a package of Kitex in here, and they package them in, they send them all in one box, and there's Japanese writing. If you order them directly from Kitex, my gosh,
Squid scent gets you.
squid scent. Then I got to go home, and my wife's like, "Where you been?"
The cowboy.
The Cowboys.
To me, a Fritos bag. It's kind of like a Fritos bag.
A Fritos bag.
A Fritos bag.
Corn chips. Just smell like corn chips. And
It just
squid.
depends when you first get them. Now, if you leave them sit, it's
You think a bellows gill smells like a Frito?
in a
like
way,
corn.
yes.
Hey, you know what? If it works right there, the Jackall Dara break is the deal for small blooded jigs and matches perfect with the 275, says one Ryan Hanks, that of cast fishing fame.
He
right
probably
there.
knows.
He probably knows.
Yeah.
He's the man right there. I like old Ryan right there. Conway Twitty got his name from Conway, Arkansas, and Twitty, Texas. Is that a true story? Sounds good to me. We'll go with it right there. So, gone fishing with Ed. Hog Farmer Spunk Shad is by far the best chatterbait trailer. It's always interesting. This is why I love this show. You like one thing, he likes one thing, he likes another.
And we all think it's the best.
And everybody says it's the best. And here's little old me listening to all y'all like, I don't know what the hell to put on mine. I'm trying to absorb all this information.
Paul agrees with me, so.
Who? Paul? Paul B. Our MRE is legit. There you go. Appreciate you joining us tonight there, Paul B. Do we ever think Kenny Rogers hit Dolly Parton? Hey, listen. He'd be a fool not to, is all I got to say like that. Dolly Parton in her prime is about as good as it comes.
Yeah. She's out of her prime right now.
Well, she's plastic right now. Okay, so
Just kidding.
you can say prime or
kidding.
plastic. But
By
whatever.
the way, Conway Twitty confirmed that it was combining the names of Conway, Arkansas, and Twitty, Texas. That is confirmed.
That is confirmed
Legit.
right there. So I tell you what, listen. Would you?
Dolly?
Yeah.
Without question.
I like a daggum bull riding competition. I'd be
So you'd be
throwing the hat
done.
around like
So you'd be done in 2 seconds.
Oh,
is what
dude.
you're saying.
if I went the full 8 with Dolly,
I'd love to disappoint
I
her.
want the belt. Yeah, I disappoint her. Who cares? His real name was Harold Jenkins. Really? So Conway Twitty was his stage name. His real name was Harold Jenkins. Harold Jenkins just doesn't sound near as sexy as Conway Twitty. And your Tweety bird or whatever. What was you talking about?
That buzzbait sound like a Tweety bird.
He's got you should come out with your own buzzbait called the Conway Twitty.
The Tweety
Dolly
bird.
is single now, Danny. Yes, unfortunately, her husband just passed away. You know, but listen, I digress. I love my wife, Amanda. Okay, Amanda, if you're watching, it's just a show.
She's not.
It's just a show, and the majority of the guys watching are men. But I mean, God, if I was a woman, I'd go out with Dolly Parton too.
The majority of the guys watching are men.
Oh, yeah.
That's hilarious.
You know what I meant?
Well, I mean, you never know these days.
Yeah.
You don't know these days. Tanya might have been Tom about 6 weeks ago. You just don't know. I'd go to Dollywood if Dolly would. That's smart.
That's
dude.
old Paul Bork in the
Tim White,
comments.
Dolly is 79 years old. You'd break her hip. But you know what? It'd go on my resume.
Would be the first time.
It'd go on my resume. If Conway Twitty had married Kitty Wells, her name would have been Kitty Twitty. Oh, and look, my wife is
she
watching
is
here.
here.
I know it. I told you.
You're in the
guys.
doghouse tonight.
It never, ever, ever fails.
Oh,
It never, ever,
you said
ever fails.
Beetlejuice, Danny.
Beetlejuice. But hey, I did say, y'all got it on tape. I love my wife. My wife was the greatest thing. But if you had that, I mean, Dolly Parton, come on now.
Back in the day,
I like how it's no comment. You just said I am.
Yeah,
Just like
she did.
you know, I'm watching. You'll hear my response when you get home.
I like, listen, I can tell you who her one would be. I know Channing Tatum.
yeah.
I'll listen to you in the background going,
Oh, dude, my wife,
yeah.
George Strait.
Really?
Yep.
George Strait.
Yep.
Of all the men in the world, George
Yeah.
Strait.
The movie Pure Country, she loves that movie.
Oh, my Lord.
She loves her
like that.
some King George.
Far dog goes, my bad, Danny. Tony Cobb, I was just told I better not answer that question on air. Well, listen, we're talking Dolly Parton. All right, we're talking
Look at the last one.
new bait name, Danny in the doghouse. Listen, hey,
It's called the Dollhouse.
buddy, I'm in the doghouse all the time.
And Dolly's
And
house.
look, and she says she's blasting Conway. My wife loves Conway Twitty. She does love and there's a reason, because he's a perv. All right, you ain't no better than me, Amanda. I'm in trouble. I am in trouble. I love it.
Doghouse,
Like,
man.
listen, Joe Dirt, you're never going to come back on here. Definitely. But anyway, all right. So let's get back to fishing talking now that my wife, the Fuhrer, is watching.
Oh my god.
So we gotta be serious here. You know, I'm gonna get home. She goes, you could be telling them people about Jesus. And I probably should, Amanda. I probably should right there. So anyway, but what are you laughing at, Clint?
Everything. Why aren't we laughing? Come on.
I'm in so much trouble anyway.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. My wife loves me. She knows. She already called and fussed at me. She's been gone 2 days, and I didn't do any of the dishes.
Oh,
I didn't do
man,
any of the
come on
laundry.
now.
Huh?
Come on, man.
Dude, there were some good basketball games on and stuff like that.
Basketball.
I only watch. Listen, I got that March Madness thing going on, and even last night I was watching the girls' game, and then I watched the Braves get their ass kicked. What the hell's wrong with the Braves right now?
I don't know. They need to straighten up.
Like, I think they could take all of us. I'd get paid what they get paid, and we could get our ass kicked. They ain't doing worth crap. They'll come around.
Yeah.
They'll come around. All right, so fishing. Let's go back to fishing. Boy, howdy, I came onto this show at the right time. Right there, son. Philip, we're always here to entertain you, son. We're always here to entertain you like that. So if I don't make it on Thursday night's show and you see my face on the news, my wife did it. And she probably fed me to the pigs because all she does is watch them murder shows. I wouldn't sleep with the old man.
She talking about you, Danny?
I hope she's talking about Conway. Oh, God. What's that song he sings? Not the popular one, but the one about tight fitting jeans and all that. Just go listen to Conway Twitty lyrics. He basically talked that woman away from her husband, had a night with her, sent her home.
Yep.
Just that's Conway Twitty's music right there. And it's good, don't get me wrong, but that it is what it is right there. Amanda, you listen to some bad stuff right there. So don't complain about my Van Halen anymore. All right, now, what you got a fishing question?
Right here.
All right, go ahead.
Boom.
Do you throw cranks? Thank you, Christopher Henry, for getting me out of the doghouse. Do you throw cranks?
I do a little bit. Little Spro John.
Hey, you can't go wrong with Spro.
Oh, yeah. Me and old Mason over there, we put him to work on Altoona.
You talking about the Mason behind us here?
Oh, yeah. Mason behind us.
Put them on Altoona.
Put them on Altoona.
All right, so when you're on Altoona, you're throwing these little cranks. What are you targeting?
We're targeting mainly laydowns, wood.
Throwing the cranks at wood.
Oh yeah.
Really?
I caught a gar. I was uninspected. I thought it was a giant bass.
Of course
I mean,
you did.
We rode up on this overlay.
I caught a gar.
I did. I thought it was like a state record. I mean, I set into it and I was like, Mason, this is a good one, man.
Yeah.
It's flopping all around. Mason's like, he's thinking about grabbing the net, but he's like, are you sure that's a bass? I'm like, dude, it's a big one, dude. Get it up. He's like, dude, that's not a bass. It's a gar. And I throw it in the boat. We get it off.
How big was it?
Pretty big. I think it popped off
4
right at the
feet long
boat.
gar on a crank?
Yeah,
I would have thought I'd have had a record too.
I did.
But is it not disappointing though when you think you got that and you got a record going and also that
man.
shows up?
God.
You ever had that happen?
Oh yeah.
I was on Chick one time
Mhm.
and we saw some arches on the back of the boat and I threw an old drop shot down there in a tournament. Pop, nailed it. Oh, I got one. This is the one that's going big fish, not blue cat.
Yep.
On a
Every
morning
time.
dawn pink worm. What about you? What's your like most memorable mistake catch?
Probably on Lake Gunnersville. I was on Gunnersville with Ian, and we were on the edge of this grass mat. Caught a couple on a chug bug on the edge of the grass mat, and then so I look on the scope and I see this big old blob just sitting there all perfect, and I flip a jig over to it, and then it goes down to it. I see it flare up, and I'm like, oh yeah, and then it's like dunk, and I'm like. And I'm like, Ia, get the net. It's a giant.
It's a giant.
It's
That's
about
what we all say.
17-pound drum. I was like, oh my god.
Drums are bad too.
Yeah.
I hooked that one up at Chickamauga that one time, and I'm like, I thought I had a striper or something like that because I was throwing a little underspin contact, and it hit, and then that was the one we tried to eat. Don't eat drum out of Chickamauga.
In general,
don't listen. Red drum out of the ocean, good. Drum out of freshwater, don't eat. So Will King, yes, the Braves right now they're pretty rough. Now Jonah, I love Jonah. He's a young guy. Let's hit Far Dogs first because Jonah got 2 questions. What glide baits does Mullet throw? I love this. His name's Daniel, but everybody's calling him Mullet like that. So Mullet, what glide baits do you throw?
Been throwing that bull shad, man. That trick shad, 5-inch trick shad.
You like that?
I did until I smacked it off the side of my kayak and lost it the other day.
How did you do that?
So I was casting this little cove. Was trying to cast under this dock. Cast it all the way up. Got it in the dock. Pulled it out. Had a fish follow it back. Made another cast, and I smacked the side of the kayak and dropped it. Went.
Broke your line or did it break the bait?
Broke the line.
Really?
Yeah, it's probably that 12-pound test. I ain't gonna lie.
What was your term for that? The biscuit term?
Risking it for the biscuit.
Risking it for the biscuit right there. Well, you know what though? I like throwing light line on everything. A lot of guys are like, well, you throw your jig on everybody's like a 17 and all. I'm like, hell, I thought Joker on 10. That's just me because I think I can cast it better.
Yeah, you can get a better cast. I feel like light line, especially on pressured areas, fish can't see it.
Yeah.
Now, if you're fishing like some heavy structure, I'll go up a little bit. The highest I'll go is maybe like 14. I might be risking it for the biscuit for real, but I'll go 14, maybe flipping a jig and
right.
some
What do you
structure.
throw on your jig? Because you like dragging the jig.
So I just bumped up to 20 because I was fishing 15 for a long time and it was doing good, but I kept breaking off eventually or just not retying enough and things like that. And then so I bumped up to 20, and then after bouncing around with a bunch of these Elite Series pros, like a lot of them are throwing 20 and 22 on their jigs all the time.
Really?
Like even super clear water, fishing Lanier, Hartwell, like places like that, they'll still do it because they're like, if they're going to bite it, they're going to bite it. And they want to be able to get that fish in the boat when you're fishing for $100,000.
For sure. Yeah, I get that.
And then it kind of got in my head and I was like, and they're talking about fall rate and stuff like that. And like when you want a little bit of a slower fall so they can get away with a heavier jig with that heavier line.
So they manipulate it. Instead of going down on the jig, they use the line.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like if I'm throwing something that heavy, and again, I'm not the experienced angler that most of the guys that watch the show are, or any of you guys in here, but I just feel like I'm pulling rope.
Yeah.
When you get into that big, and I just don't feel like I can cast it near as well.
Yeah.
But you like the 20.
Yep.
What do you throw, Alex, on your jig?
I was watching an old episode of this with Farmer and Ryan and some other guy,
Yeah.
and they were talking about P-line CXX.
Yes. Ryan loves that stuff.
I throw 20-pound P-line CXX, and that stuff is unbreakable. I will put my trolling motor on full blast, and I will run in place. It will not break.
Well, you could do that with Berkeley Big Game if you get the right one. What kind of line do you throw?
So my line right now is sniper. Well, it's finesse. Was sniper
FC sniper.
Yeah, FC sniper. That's my go-to line right now.
Yeah.
For fluoro, I'm
Yeah.
running like 6 and 8 on a Wacky,
Oh yeah.
and then running 12. And normally I'm running either a braid on a leader for spinning, and
Yeah.
then when I got a bait caster, I'll run just straight mono. I mean,
Yeah.
we get our mono for free from Bass. I work at Bass Pro, so I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah, I know you dog.
But the bad thing about it is, every now and then you get a big bird's nest. You get a Tweety bird's nest for sure.
Tweety bird's nest.
You get a Tweety bird's nest.
Yeah, one of them old TBN.
What a
son.
TBN?
Yeah.
TBN. We got to remember that too. TBN. That's a Tweety bird nest right there. So in other words, I got those all the time. But that's dude, I love you. This is I love that. You ever throw a spinnerbait? Jonah wants to know, and he also wanted to know if you throw jigs. Jonah wants to know if you throw everything, because even down there you're throwing a swim jig at the moment. You know, so when it comes to jigs, what kind of jigs you like to throw other than that Picasso crap you throw? I'm just kidding, Picasso. I'm just kidding. You make a good stuff.
6-inch jig. I like the 6-inch swim jig pretty good.
Oh, 6
Greenfish.
You like a 6 inch or 6 cents?
6 cents.
Okay. there
Yeah,
you go.
I slur my words a little bit.
That's all right. So do I.
But I'd say 6-inch swim jig. Definitely got to go with a greenfish. Greenfish makes some pretty good jigs
do.
as well,
They
too.
do.
They make a nice spinner bait too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So spinnerbait, you throw them, or you stick with your chatterbaits?
I'm
You
not a
strike me
big-
as a chatterbait guy.
I would rather throw a chatterbait than a spinnerbait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. What about a swim jig though? You ever mess with like swim jigs,
Oh, yeah.
doing that Alabama shake or whatever it
I
is?
do like swim jigs. I'll take it and skip them under a dock.
Okay, I believe you right there. Let's see. Jonah has 12-pound fluoro on almost all of his reels. Jeremiah says 12-pound on a glide is crazy.
That's what I thought when he said that. It is wild.
But listen, like I can see going 12-pound, but with my luck, when I rear back to rock that joker and you go too fast, and you get that real instant backlash, and all of a sudden it goes pop,
Oh,
and there goes your bait about 152 yards up the thing. Cranking and yanking use 17-pound, and that seems to be 15, 17 seems to be standard
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
I'm on, but I get what you're saying about the pros. But if I had $100,000 on the line too, I think I might. If I had the ability to throw a heavier line,
Yeah.
and they can, of course.
And I think you have to think about how you're throwing it too. I feel like if you're throwing it offshore and hitting brush piles and stuff, and with forward facing, it's a little bit different because you can actually see where your bait's at. So like you can pull the jig up over the brush pile and get it on your side of the brush pile. That way, when you hook the fish, it's not taking you over the brush pile. Like your line's not over the brush pile and in the wrong spot. Like you can pull them out of the cover.
Yeah.
But that's also the nicer thing about having a little bit more is you can turn their head. So like if they're tighter to cover, tighter to a dock, right now they're all on the backs of the dock posts and things like that. Instead of them running you into it, you have a little bit more ass behind it to get them out.
No, it makes
so they
perfect
don't wrap
sense.
you up.
Makes perfect sense right there. Philip Hutchinson wants to know, would y'all ever use a loop knot on a jig?
No.
I would not.
Absolutely not.
You said absolutely not.
No, absolutely.
I mean, like, Alex was like firm in his answer back there. Absolutely not.
No.
I don't. What knot? Okay, we'll go from Alex. We'll go around. What knot do you use to tie a jig?
Well, I've already mentioned that episode of the old show, Double San Diego Jam.
Double San Diego Jam.
mine's a double polymer knot. I like polymer knot. Pretty good.
You?
I like a San Diego Jamma Hammer.
I just tied that uni. I mean,
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
What are you shaking your head back? You keep shaking your head, and you ain't allowed to come back here. Like he's looking at me like, oh, no. No. Atlanta Outdoors. There's a video of a guy strength testing 10-pound big game, and it took 18 pounds to break it. I believe that. I mean, I believe you could tie a big game to the back of your truck, and you could drag a lot of things down the road, and then whatever you're dragging is going to burn away before that big game breaks right there. So, Aaron Young, if you're not fishing 20-pound, you ain't fishing in enough cover.
Ain't that the truth right there?
Is that the gospel truth right there?
Yep.
You know, I mean, yeah, I guess I can see it, but like, I throw the 12-pound in the same thing.
Same.
Yeah.
It could be a big old brush pile. It looked like you could get hung up in any twig that's sticking up, and I'm still going to cast in there with 8-pound test.
Let me ask you this, because like we throw the Wacky, like I'll get on Lanier and be over a 40-foot brush pile, and I'll throw that weightless Wacky, and I'm using 8-pound Tatsu. And I just like saying tattoo because it makes me sound like I got money. But if my wife knew what that crap cost, But anyway, and I'll sit there and I'll be patient, let that joker go all the way down right in the middle of that brush pile, exposed hook and everything. I don't care. I think you got to be able, you just got to have the balls to throw it in places.
Oh, yeah. You
That's where
definitely do.
you got to have it. And you know what's bad about owning a tackle shop? I'll just break off and I go, I know I get some more. It's the worst thing for an angler to own your inventory because you can go through it quick. Let's see. Aaron is right on. Philip Hutchins says, and Paul B says big game is great. Listen, Will Harkins won $100,000 on clear big game mono. We got it on video. So, and and I liked his answer because it's cheap. Like, why do you use bait? It's cheap right there. So,
Yeah.
I think, do you think, and Clint, I'm going to ask you this. Do you think we overthink it sometimes, though, with line and things like that?
I mean, I think we do. It just like we can overcomplicate the technique, the having the right hook, the line, the weight, everything, fall rate, color. Like there's so many things that we do overcomplicate. It's like, would they have eaten a green pumpkin with a little bit of purple flake worm, or would they have eaten a green pumpkin with a little bit of blue flake?
Yeah.
It's like both of those fish probably would have eaten either one. It's just a matter of the presentation. And so same thing with line size. Could you get away with 17 on a jig? In some cases, yeah. But like, you also hear those stories of guys that were like, man, I was skipping a jig all day on 15 and then I went down to 12 and I started catching them. Like it does happen, but maybe that's the fall rate and not just the fish seeing the line.
Yeah. So more so what's happening to the bait instead of the
Exactly.
line. That makes sense. That makes sense.
And you got to think of the scope in the water too. So, I mean, if you have a thicker diameter of the line, you're going to have different water displacement in the water with that thicker diameter of your line. So the bait is doing something different on the fall. As soon as it hits the water, as it skips different. Like there's a lot of different components to having just a little bit thicker of a diameter on your line.
But you remember if you look back in the day at the old Bill Dance, the early Bassmaster stuff, they're throwing 6.6 pistol grip rods with string freaking mono, and they're catching giants.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And now we've got it down there. We're throwing this crap out of daggum Japan. It looks like a cube with tentacles hanging out of it. I mean, you think we could just go back and just throw that crap?
Look at Japan right now and how tough it's fishing. And
yeah.
Taku just got back from the off season and he was like, I was throwing 3 pound on everything.
3 pounds.
Yeah, he's throwing 3 pound.
Well, there's 18 billion Japanese on that island, and there's about 152 acres of fishable water on it.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
Yeah,
which makes sense. I'll tell you what. Okay, how about this? You throw 6 and 8. What makes you throw 6 as opposed to 8? Just out of curiosity, because I remember you mentioned 2 different line sizes.
So I'm normally throwing 6 with a drop shot. I throw drop shots too. Drop shot, I'll throw 6 on.
Just don't tell nobody.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, they already heard now. I'll throw 6 on drop shot, but I'll throw 6 on a wacky. It depends on it. I'm not getting bit like on 8.
Mm-hmm.
I'll downsize. I'll put a 6 pound leader, loosen my drag a little bit. So when he does,
you got to,
or he'll break you right off.
So you know what would be interesting? We need to do this, and I have to figure out how we can do that. Tie a weightless wacky to 6 pound, tie it to 8 pound, tie it to 10 pound. And just maybe get a GoPro, get in a pool somewhere, get underneath and have 3 casts and just watch the difference in the line and see how they're falling and the action and all that stuff.
Yep.
Same with the jig.
Mm-hmm.
Like throw the same jig, start at 10, 12, 15, 17. And you almost can put like a timer on it because you're talking about fall rate and all that. And just see how much the line affects.
I bet you know a guy with a camera that you can use that for.
Shit, I don't know. Huh? Yeah, I know. Clint might be able to film something like that. Problem is we got to be at a swimming pool.
Or Lanier. Lanier is 15-foot viz right now. Well, I don't know with this rain, but it was.
I think. Don't you think that'd be interesting just to see, kind of like honestly try to do an experiment and document how the line affects the fall?
Yeah, and it probably affects the angle at which it falls too. You think about like how a jig falls. Like it might fall at a 45 on 20 pound, and it might fall at a 55 on 8 pound, or vice versa,
Yeah, it would be interesting.
Yep,
I think that would be interesting. We need to do something like that.
We'll do Ryan's lab. Remember we were talking about doing his science show or whatever?
Yeah, we need to do
Ryan,
that.
Put him in a lab coat.
Put him Ryan in a lab.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Wouldn't that would be very interesting to
Yeah.
see Ryan in a lab coat
Science
like
of Shrek or something like
that. Yeah,
that.
something like that.
Professor
All right,
Shrek.
so first, cranking and yanking. What do us fishermen do? We can't see what you see without forward-facing sonar. Listen, I tell you what, but I guarantee we get in a pool, we get in a swimming pool,
You see some stuff.
and we can see some stuff, which means I need to go fix my mom's pool. Okay, I got a pool. We just need to go fix that. Green Gorilla Hunter. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Cut that hair.
No, man,
Do
I
you
ain't
know
cutting
him?
it.
Do you know him? Do you know Green Gorilla Hunter?
Oh, man.
How the hell do guys come up with their YouTube names?
I'm
Like,
not
seriously.
cutting it.
Like, I'm gonna name my YouTube
He's after them hydrilla gorillas, I guess.
Green Gorilla
Yeah.
Hunter. I love it right there. So, T-Toms is 20-pound braid. Let's see, comparable to a certain monofluoro test. So, 20-pound braid would equal what? In
I'll tell you,
it's higher, right?
everybody's 20-pound braid is going to be different, though.
It is, but it's normally higher.
Yes.
Wouldn't you think so? I mean, like, if you said 20-pound braid, you would think what, 30, 40-pound mono?
I mean, it
It's
depends
on the-
on how many
I'm pretty
strands
sure
you got in the
it's
braid.
labeled on the box.
Is it labeled on the box?
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Okay, well, put the camera on Clint. Let Clint say some words of wisdom. I'm going to get some braid and we'll find out.
Words of wisdom. I ain't got nothing for you. I ain't got no wisdom out here. I don't know.
All right, so I got some J braid. It says 50-pound, 150 yard,
Here,
Point
substitute teacher, you
36.
can't read.
0.36, something like that, whatever the
Yeah.
hell.
So you got 0.36 millimeters on this one,
Oh, okay. Put the camera on him since he knows what he's looking at.
and then Power Pro is 0.32 on their 40-pound. Give me something like 12-pound or 20-pound.
Like braid?
Yeah. Or give me some mono.
Okay,
Something.
So how about Seaguar, red label? So there's
Okay.
you some fluoro. What is that?
All right. That's 0.4. Okay. So 20-pound Seaguar is equivalent to roughly a 50-pound braid.
So you're saying that it's lighter than the braid?
Yeah.
No.
Mhm.
You're just talking about diameter.
Diameter.
What about strength?
So 50-pound braid is equivalent to like a 20-pound fluorocarbon in diameter.
In diameter.
Yeah.
But what about like tensile strength?
It's going to be 50-pound versus 20-pound.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So this Seaguar 10-pound stealth gray braid is diameter is 0.008
Yeah. Thin.
thin. And then the Seaguar 30 is 0.011.
Yep.
What was that 20-pound right there? What was that for?
0.40.
It was what?
0.40.
So even that's okay. Well, I don't know. That's some science. All right. So look, Will King says, look at the Power Pro. It has it. So pull up the Power Pro.
Yeah. 0.32 for 40-pound.
Doesn't it say mono equivalent on there though?
Somewhere on the box. He's going to be looking at that like that. So Power Pro, Will says, Power Pro, I believe 20-pound is equivalent to 4-pound mono. Now we're talking diameter at that point.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the strength.
Strength.
We all know that 20-pound Power Pro is a lot stronger than 4-pound mono.
I mean, that's
yeah.
what the strength is for. So 20-pound Power Pro will break at the same 20-pound Seaguar will in theory, but the braid is half the size of the fluoro.
Okay, so yeah. Well, okay, listen, guys, we never once said that this was a very smart show right there. Paul B says 20-pound braid is the diameter is equivalent of like 6-pound mono.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting to think about. But listen, that's why you got all these engineers and stuff like that. So we guys right there ain't got to think that through.
Nah.
So I mean, you start talking into 0.000 diameter. All I want to know is, does it cast, and does it, will it get it in? The strength is the pound rate. And yeah, you say that cranking yanking, but earlier a guy said up there somewhere, I forget who did it, said that 10-pound Berkeley big game did not break until 18 pounds or something like that. Wasn't that what it was,
That's
Alex?
exactly what he said.
So that's what I'm saying. So Walton Doyle said, oh, Walton's here.
Walton's here.
Walton,
What's up, Walt?
you going ICAST again this year, buddy? I'm going with Digital Sportsman. So we'll be down there. We'll have some fun down there again like that. You know what? Sometimes as an average angler, which I am, if you start thinking into these things, we're talking about overthinking stuff. I really think that just what we did right there, if somebody starts getting down there and they're doing the math and all that, at that point, we've just lost what we're doing. At least I'm like, who gives a shit?
Well, Jeff Nail went and measured like a bunch of different brands, 15 and 20 pound braid, to show the different diameters of all of them.
I can see it. You know what we need to do? We need to get all these things in and get some concrete blocks and just time the concrete blocks and just pull.
Or a dumbbell or something.
And just see when it would actually break. Like do real world stuff.
Because you got to think of the stretch factor too. Braid doesn't stretch. Fluoro kind of stretches. Mono really stretches. So you got that extra stretch from that. So you can put the same amount of force on it, but since it's stretching, you got a little bit more give. So that's what's making that 10-pound break at 18 because it has more.
Because it has that stretch. Aaron Young says the stretch makes mono take more on impact.
Yep.
But what's the downside?
And think about like a hook set versus a reeling, like a reeling hook set. So like if I'm throwing a jig on braid to fluoro, I'm not going to crack them like I would on straight fluoro because I'm making up on straight fluoro or mono. I'm making up for that stretch. Whereas on braid to fluoro, if I crack them, you're going to snap your knot.
Yeah. What knot do you use on your braid to fluoro?
I use double uni.
Double uni.
And I just depend on that knot to hold, man.
Double uni. What did you use, Alex?
I use the FG knot.
You're one of them snobs. What do you use? You're a snob too, right?
I used to tie the double uni, but I found that on a bait caster, especially, the micro guides beat up the knot. And it'll break it off on a cast.
But see, I don't ever use. Okay, that brings up an interesting question because he just talked about a braid to fluoro leader on a bait caster. Do you do anything like that? Because on a bait caster with me, I'm straight mono, straight fluoro. What about you?
On a bait caster,
straight fluoro.
Yeah.
Do you use any of the like braid to back it? Now I will put some backing on it and then go.
That's the cheap way. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I'll
I'm a
either
cheap
do
ass.
braid or just do some mono on the bottom and then put a piece of electrical tape and then put it on. The rest of it.
I'm fishing. It's a BFS rod, by the way.
Oh my God, you're a snob.
I'm fishing straight mono.
Yeah,
Straight mono or
every,
fluoro.
Every other bait caster
leader
I
on
have
there.
is mono, fluoro, or braid.
What do you throw straight braid on?
My OG.
So you cast OG, so top water.
Mm-hmm.
Do you throw straight braid on anything?
I'll do top water. I'll do a frog, and then like I also do buzz bait, spook.
Really? So you like it straight fluoro on it? Because I go mono. What about you?
I do a braid to leader on all my top waters, except for the OG. I'll do straight 20-pound fluoro, but that's only for that bait.
Do you do that for the action?
Yeah, just because it makes it dive down a little deeper, and especially like this time of year when they're not quite eating it, but they're kind of eating it. Like it's kind of like we've gotten a couple OG bites over the past week, but it's not quite on fire herring spawn stuff. But like that's why I like to have that fluoro because it dives just a little bit deeper.
Yeah. That makes sense. So in the comment section, again, we have the best comment section in all of fishing. Georgia Boy 44 says, Analytical Angling's YouTube channel does a big game strength test. So when you go there, tell them you heard about it on Fish North Georgia. Danny, how did you get into the tackle business? What made you jump into it? Did a podcast, moved over here to a building, had some space, said, what are we going to do with the space? Hell, let's throw some baits on the wall. Simple as that. 100%. That's it. We are a media company that owns a tackle shop. And basically it's a glorified set. So like that, they're a lot better. I love our tackle shop. We sell some great stuff. They're, Hammonds and we're not ever going to be those that they're great. And I highly recommend all of them, but we've got your basics in here. So, but for anybody that's wanting to get in the tackle business, I'm telling you right now, the margins, don't do it. Don't do it. Salt Strong Ariana has some videos where they do strength tests and abrasion tests and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mono pretty much always wins. And again, think about what Roland Martin and Bill Dance and all them greats fished back in the day. When did fluoro come out?
90s probably. 2000, early 2000.
That sound about right?
I don't know.
I don't know. So Funyuns, what is the best entry-level glide bait? Funyuns wants. I like Funyuns.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hey, I tried some daggum queso Funyuns the other day.
Oh God, I
No, they were amazing. But do you
Really?
know, simple truth, that if you're camping and you're in the woods and you need to build a fire, pull out a pack
Yep.
of Funyuns and light them son of a guns.
Duct
You will
tape.
start anything. Duct tape's good too.
And they burn for a while.
Funyuns are amazingly flammable, and we eat the crap out of them like that. So, but anyway, best entry level glide bait for you.
I would say the river to sea gotta be the S waiver, the little S waiver.
S waiver. Everybody likes that S waiver.
Yep.
What about you? If you were going to pick an entry level glide bait,
The S Waver was my first glide bait, but the Storm Arashi, I caught more fish on that glide bait than all my $200-$300 glide baits.
Storm Arashi.
Storm Arashi, I caught a bunch of fish on that thing.
Really? All right. What about you there, Alex? Do you throw glide baits at all?
The only glide bait I have is from Buka.
It's from Buka.
Yeah, it's the only one I've ever bought.
Do you throw them much?
Not very often, but like if someone tells me, hey, you need to go throw this, I'll go throw it. But typically, no.
Okay. Cranking and yanking. Too many DIY bait makers out there to start a bait shop unless it's live bait. Yeah, it's a little different for sure right there. Jason Dom. I haven't done one of his comments tonight right there. Pull him up. My reels typically list line capacity and monoline. Understanding the braid diameter equivalent makes for the right spooling. Like the same amount of 8-pound mono can fit as 25-pound braid.
Yeah.
Again, smart people.
Yeah.
Smart. Have you ever sat down and done the math like that? I mean, I can see where people like that.
Yeah.
Are smart and they take the time in, but I don't. I'm just the average everyday guy that just like give me something, put it on there. If it casts, it casts.
I make friends with guys that do the math.
You make friends with guys that do math. But what about you? Like when you're setting up a rod, what goes into it? Do you do that?
No, I don't put much thought. I mean, literally it's last minute. I ain't gonna lie. It's literally the morning of the tournament. I'm rushing around throwing baits on like, okay, this would be good for this situation. This would be good for this.
Right.
And I just tie it on and go, man. And I switch out throughout the day if I have to.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
I'm typically a night before kind of guy, rock and roll night before. But I mean, I just have what I like for certain rods. And if something's not working or if some of my line's a little janky and it's been spooling, getting wind knots and all that kind of stuff, I'll make sure I change it out. But I mean, I do it mid-tournament plenty of times. Like I'll be halfway through and slinging something, chucking and winding, and I'm getting wind knots or get a bass bird's nest or Tweety bird's nest or
Tweety bird's nest. TBN, baby.
Yeah.
There you go, Tweety bird.
Yeah.
Tweety bird. Hey, so Jeremiah says the best entry level glide is the S Waver and the Savage Gears Shine Glide for the money. You ever thrown one of those Savage Gears?
I haven't.
I haven't either. Like that. Philip says fluoro was invented in 1971. Sure, but when did it become popular? Like for the,
like forward-facing sonar was invented in 2015, and we didn't start getting mad about it until 2020.
Yeah, the Navy probably had it for 20 years before
exactly.
that too. So the Storm Arashi is the best starter glide bait, period, or the S Waver, says Far Dog. Paul B says Buka Shad maybe. Yeah, a lot of guys throw that. Does anybody know what a sneaky peek is? A sneaky peek?
Yeah, it's a glide bait.
Glide bait?
G-Rat, I think.
By who?
G-Rat.
So John Volteus, I hope I said
Steve
that right.
Kennedy caught a bunch on it on Smith Lake last year.
Amanda says we have pool. I have no idea. We have a pool. She wants me to fix my mom's. That's how far back we are in the comment section. She's finally said that. So
no, we're caught up.
Fix it on FNG's dime. My mom's got a pool. There's something wrong with the it ain't blowing the water right. So I guess we'll take up a collection here and we'll fix it. Aaron Young wants to know, man, first of all, why in the hell are you still listening? Ain't you got something better to do? Like fix daddy a sandwich and have it ready for me by the time I get home.
Now you're in the doghouse.
If you weren't there, you're there now.
I am there now, boys. Like I know when I pull up after a show, if the bedroom light is still on, I'm like, shit, I'm in trouble. How do you deal with all the lookers on glide baits? And that is something. A lot of guys this time of year will throw a mag draft or something like that just to pull a fish, to see it. And then if the fish commits, that's one thing. But if not, they go after it with something else. So is that a technique you use, or when you're throwing a big glide like that, what are you doing?
So a lot of times I'm throwing those bigger baits to start pushing those fish out of the brush piles to try to get those bigger ones to show themselves. And then I'll throw something smaller than to get them.
Like a wacky worm?
Yep. I ain't gonna, Wacky where it's at.
Dude,
Wacky
I
for
like it
life,
more and
man.
more. What about you though? I mean, when you throw, are you throwing mag drafts right now? Anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. So right now, that's the thing is like when you start to throw a glide in the spring, like you're thinking about, you got pre-spawn fish, you got fish that are spawning, you got post-spawn fish. And so when you start to, it all depends on the behavior of the fish. If they're hot on it and turn away, like you're probably throwing the right size.
Right.
But like if they're following it at a distance, you're not getting that draw power that you need. So that's when I typically go bigger. I'll go from, if I'm throwing like a clutch darter, I'll step it up to like a boss, like a 9-inch, a 10-inch, a depth 250, something bigger, because then you're going to get that commitment factor. So your 3-4 pounders might not follow it out, but old mama 6, she's about to eat that thing.
Yeah.
So like that's what's huge, is like being able to make that adjustment, because sometimes you are throwing too small of a bait where they're lazy post spawn, they're beat up, like, and they're staging up on a dock. Like they're not going to want to move very far because they don't want to waste a lot of energy unless they know they're going to get that meal. And they see one, but it's like kind of out there moving too fast for them, or you got the big slow depths 250 coming sweeping under that dock, and sometimes that's what makes them bite at the end of the day.
Makes sense. I didn't know a lot of guys use these big ones though as a search bait. And so Jeremiah says the Storm Arashi and the Buka Glide are both superior to the S-Waver, and Shine Glide, but you're going to pay double the price. My favorite glides are pushing $200, but those are way more affordable. Yeah, Jeremiah, you get on them expensive ones. I ain't throwing them. What's the most expensive bait you got in your tackle box?
Well, I had a $200 swim bait, but
And you lost it, didn't you?
yeah,
What'd you lose it on?
lost it on.
Stump.
I know I smacked it. That was the one I smacked against the kayak.
Oh, your kayak. $200 went off the side of the kayak.
I've been looking at it for 2 weeks straight with a magnet tool,
Trying to get it. Oh my!
I thought about
Lord.
scuba diving, but water's a little cold. I ain't gonna lie.
No, I don't blame you right there. So, Paul B says, "Oh, you're done." No, Paul. Look, I'll set my wife straight with Steve's nuts when I get home. That's all I got to do is give her some of Steve's nuts. It's all good. Steve nuts solves every problem in the world. What are you shaking your head at? Seriously, my wife likes Steve's nuts.
We need to get you a backhoe or something. You're digging yourself deeper.
No,
you need
she
to
really
step
does.
up.
Listen, no, I'm not serious. These are Sugar Hill Baits nuts like that. My wife really likes that. These agum pecans and all that. I just like calling them Steve's
You get them
nuts.
from Bucky's?
Huh?
You ever go to Bucky's?
Yeah, those hot Bucky's cinnamon
Buc-ee's?
pecans.
Yeah.
Are good.
Yeah, man.
They got the almonds too.
like, listen, if I could put a cod, I could live in a Bucky's.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
they got everything you need. They got all the food
They really
groups.
do.
They got all the refreshment you need. And you can see
Their
the people
drink
watch.
selection kind of sucks. They
Well,
don't have a whole lot of like.
I just drink Pepsi Zero.
I know, but I'm saying like as far as just like they don't have the big wide mouth water bottles for being on the road, and it makes me mad because I always like see a Bucky's. I'm like, yeah, I want to stop there, but then I don't get a good pee bottle out.
That's what I was going to say. You got to have that. You got to think
Yeah.
ahead because you got to have that
Yeah.
pee bottle
So
right
I
there.
got to swing into a Pilot gas station.
You can get the big pee
Yeah.
bottle.
I don't know the burritos though. The steak
Oh,
and cheese burritos, dude. I'll get
Buc-ee's.
like
Yes.
4 of those things
Yeah.
to last me on a car trip.
Yes.
I feel sorry whoever is in the car with me, but I
Does it
was,
give you gas?
yeah.
You got lactose intolerance or something like that?
No, that's
That's
I don't
just
know
gas
what it is.
station
It's
burritos.
natural
Yeah,
gas.
it's
It's
burritos.
nitro gas or something. But you got to roll down the windows.
Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, I believe you. I'm telling you, if I'm on death row and I get a final meal, it's going to have a racetrack or a quick trip jalapeno hot dog on it. Seriously. I'm going to get that
I couldn't
nacho.
make it
I'm
out
going
of
to
the parking lot.
I'm gonna get that nacho cheese, the jalapenos, and the onions. Will ketchup and
Jeez
mustard on that.
almighty.
It is money.
Oh yeah.
So if you're watching and you're employed by Racetrack or Quick Trip, we'd love to have you to sponsor the show right there. I'll eat all the jalapeno cheddar cheese hot dogs you got.
And then dude wipes if you're listening.
Dude wipes.
yeah, we need them.
Nah, dude, I got a belly like
Get
a
a
belly
get a
goat.
hot dog roller set up behind you.
We need a hot dog roller in here.
We do.
We do need that.
I need
You know
one on
how
my
long
kayak.
You would let those sit, Danny.
Hey, just to get a little tough.
You,
It's all right.
they would be rolling for 2 weeks. You'd be like, "Oh yeah, I just made them this morning." Like you would.
It'd be like that deer jerky you brought in here earlier. Just like, oh,
That was fresh.
it's fresh right there. So, let's see. But anyway, Paul B, that's what I'm saying. Steve's nuts, they solve everything. John Voltaez, people would be shocked at how many smaller fish you can catch on a 9-inch glide, like the Chimera glide. What? I don't know what a Chimera glide is.
Yeah.
So
No idea.
Paul B bought a turkey call in Buc-ee's a few weeks ago. That's what I'm saying. They got everything. You can get your deer corn and a burrito all in the same thing. Danny, are you guys going to be able to stock 5-inch mag dress? I don't know. I'll have to check it out. We'll see. Walton Doyle, this is a good question. This is a serious one for you.
All right.
How often do you switch line out on your reels?
I can have my line last on my reels for a good solid like 3 months.
3 months.
Wait, I'll take that back. No, it's actually about a month or 2 months because I go through it pretty quick.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? Just because you're nicking everything up or what?
No,
You just like to switch out.
I mean, the Bass Pro line is all right, but it ain't the best.
Chimera.
So I got to switch it out.
My bad. So yeah, I get that. But like I probably got a rod or two that's got some line on it from last year, and I'm still throwing it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I still got some braid on from like a year ago.
You know when I changed mine off? When I backlashed the damn thing.
Yeah,
then it's time to change it right there. How often do you change your line?
I mean,
you're a professional.
I've got cast braid on my reels from October of 2021 still.
Oh yeah, braid's a totally different thing.
Yeah, braid you can use forever. But fluorocarbon, I mean, typically 3 months, 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, that's about right. That's honestly about right. What about you, Alex?
Same.
About 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I generally within those 3 months I'm backlashing one time. Like if you go look at my rods right now, and I got a tournament Saturday, all 3 of my bait casters are blowed the hell out. They're blowed up from the last tournament. I'll just like the other night before I'll re-spool them.
It'll be all right.
It'll be all right like that. So, all right, so we're getting close. So if you guys got any last questions for Mullet, whose name is Daniel, just throw them in there. But all right, so let me tell you this. So let's get this because, like I said, you do content. Yeah. You're a content creator. And I know how tough that is and all that. So one more time, I definitely want you to throw out all your socials again. Because you guys listen, go follow this guy. I thoroughly enjoy listening to him talk. I like his videos and all that too. So tell them where they can find you at.
Yeah, so you can find me on Mullet Angler on YouTube, Mullet Angler on Instagram, and Mullet Angler on TikTok. Mullet Angler 087 on Instagram, and just Mullet _Angler on YouTube.
Yeah, it's always crazy because you got to do a little bit different on every daggone one of them.
Yeah, just a little bit. But if you put Mullet Angler, my face will pop up.
Yeah, you ain't gonna miss. Look, that mug right there is going to pop up right there. So Cranking and Yanking says, "Wow, I change my line weekly or at least every couple weeks if I'm fishing regularly." You making a lot more money than the rest of us right there. That could get expensive. Probably the smart thing to do though. Absolutely. Philip Hutchinson wants to know, what's your favorite shoal bass / river stream to fish?
Ooh,
favorite place to go chase shoal bass?
That's a hard one, man, because there's 2 rivers I love the most, the Ocmulgee and the Flint River.
Yeah.
I have to say it's been the Ocmulgee lately, though.
Really?
Yep.
For somebody watching that has no idea where the Flint River or the Ocmulgee is, where's that at in Georgia?
So if you go down towards Macon, Ocmulgee is like right outside of Macon. It's not far from Macon.
In the flatlands of Georgia.
Yep.
Where's the Flint?
The Flint, if you go down towards like Thomaston area, Thomaston, Molina, you can get on some good fish down towards that way.
Have you ever tried? Oh, somebody asked earlier, and I remember seeing the comment, but I totally forgot to do it. They said, is the shoal bass the same thing as a red-eye bass? That was a question, and it's not.
Mm-mm.
So Georgia has 10 black bass species. Shoal bass being its only one, and I mean its own separate category, and red-eye bass is different. The shoal bass gets a lot bigger, if I'm not mistaken, than the red-eye bass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They get pretty big. I'd say the biggest shoal bass, if I'm not mistaken, I think the record's sitting at 8 pounds, 5 ounce.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that was the record. And it's caught by Matt McCorder.
Okay. And pretty much the shoal bass is a Georgia bass. Like you're not going to Alabama and finding shoal bass. Am I not mistaken with that? There might be a stream or two in northern Florida.
There might be a hidden gem up there.
But for the most part, if people are traveling to catch shoal bass, they're coming to Georgia.
Oh yeah, you got to come to GA to get on some Shoalies.
That is our fish. That is our fish
ours.
like that. You guys, let's see, Cranking and Yanking. You guys are spending $200 on glide baits. I can buy a lot of line for $200. Yes, sir, you can. Yes, sir, you can. That makes sense. So, I tell you what. Let's see. We'll do Philip's question right here, and this will be the last one for the night. Any of y'all chased red eye / Coosas in Cloudland Canyon or Little River Canyon in Alabama? I have not.
I haven't.
I have not. So, I don't know about that. But Philip, you're always trying to find bass in special places and all that. So, Danny, y'all have a good night. Coming down in 2 weeks to visit. I'll stop by and catch a show live again. Absolutely, Christopher. And that goes for anybody. If you're ever in this area on a Tuesday or Thursday night, come sit in. We have some great conversation before, great conversation after, and just have a lot of fun during the show. So with that, we're going to end tonight. And but Daniel, seriously, like I've enjoyed it. I think I could listen to you talk all night long. So I appreciate you coming up. And I know we went down a lot of rabbit holes that have nothing to do with kayak fishing.
Yeah.
But that's just the way the show is right there. So
you never know what's going to happen on the Fish North Georgia podcast.
Well, that's right. It's live. That's the one thing is it's live. Everybody else can pre-record their crap and edit it out. We just go for it and fly down the road and the hell with it.
Fly by the seat of our pants.
Listen, it is what it is. And that's why, but again, it's great guests like Daniel or Mullet, as you guys like to call him. Like, hey, Mullet. That's what I'm just going to say. From now on, I'm not going to call him Daniel. Hey, Mullet, let me ask you this. Great guys like Alex and Clint being on with me. And, of course, as always, you guys in the comment section. So appreciate you guys watching. Now, again, make sure if you're watching and you're not subscribed to the channel, click it. We're like 17 people from 8,000 before this show started. So I'd like to get over 8,000 by the end of this week. And
heck yeah.
Yeah, so get that and just keep growing with us and all that. And then Thursday night, Tony called, I forget the gentleman's name, but I know his TikTok
It's
handle.
his buddy.
Your buddy, Georgia Bassmaster.
Yeah, Marshall Stamps.
I knew it was Marshall. I couldn't remember his last name. So Marshall Stamps is going to be here. Georgia Bassmaster, Thursday night in studio. If you guys watch, hey, it's going to be a great time like that. Join us again. All right, so my wife, listen, she called me up about 6 o'clock and said there's a guy in the woods behind the house looking for his dog. I said, just grab your pistol and you'll be fine. And she goes, after I do the dishes, I can fix myself a sandwich. I love you, Amanda, like that. So, Jonah, we'll try to get Tactical Bass on here one of these days. But anyway, you guys listen, Daniel, seriously, I enjoyed it tonight. It was a great conversation.
Yeah, man, it was an awesome
Thanks
show.
You guys, hey, join us Thursday night. We'll have fun with Marshall Stamps, Mr. Georgia Bassmaster. And, hey, have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you on the next one.